2 attempts. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the round 4 of the Syndicate Racing League. We're at the Mexican Grand Prix at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez. I think 7,000 feet above water level. It's the highest Grand Prix of the circuit this season. And let's just jump into the Drivers and Constructors Championship. So we have Struggs. He's on 67 points. He had a rough weekend last weekend, and the points gap closed between his teammate of Fade. Matusas had a great weekend last weekend. He's jumped up into fourth place, boosted into third place even. He's jumped into third place. OS Degrees on 40 points with Matusas. He's a joint third, but I think he's in fourth in our championship. And AJ Sinden, he is in fifth. A quick look at the constructors before we jump into qualifying. We have the Williams. They have 114 points. They're still leading. Ferrari, 62 points behind, so a really dramatic lead by the two Williams boys at the front. And Alpine in third on 46 points. So, as we jump into the qualifying session, we have 14 minutes and 41 on the clock. We have the first cars going out and doing their laps. I'm Crab, and in the commentary booth this weekend, we have last year's champion, Z-Man.
Hello.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much for having me for the second time. It's just an honor to be here. I'm very glad to be up in the booth with you. Should be a good time.
It's a pleasure to have you. Yeah, we've just had a false introduction because the stream wasn't working. It had gone black screen. But hopefully everyone can hear us and see us now. Give us a nudge in the Twitch chat if you can actually hear us. We've had a couple of issues today. But we have the kind of first laps going out, and I'm on board with Louis Revest, my old teammate, a good wingman. He's had some good form in the pre-race lobbies today.
Yeah, I was just thinking that because I came in for the last pre-race Robbie, and he was second. He won the race actually, didn't he? Yeah.
With VRS had. I mean, I think a few of the quickest runners had a collision. Rugriff and Chonk had.
Yeah, I saw that
together.
It was unfortunate, but both the Aston Martins seemed like they were doing pretty good, and Matusas actually came pretty much out of nowhere. He was doing pretty well too.
We've had our first lap times, 1:16.8 from Struggs already. I mean, I predicted the Q1 time to be about, the final qualifying time to be about a 1:17 flat. So 1:16.8 has already blown out.
That's just incredible.
There's a 2 second gap, 3 second gap actually between Seoul and Struggs at the moment. So cut-off time, I'm guessing about 1:19 this weekend in Q1. Or 1:18 even. I don't know, Eddie. A 1:19 seems about right. AJ Sinden, he's to the 1:18.8.
Yep, I would agree. I think I would agree with you.
Have you been following the championship this year?
I've been doing my best to follow it. Once you're away from the race, it gets kind of difficult to start following things. So as a race steward, you're always kind of far away from the action, like in the days following and stuff like that. But the one thing I do know is that both the Williams are just insane this year.
They have really lit it up, certainly in qualifying. I think every qualifying has been a 1-2 Struggs from Fade so far.
That's incredible.
So we're hoping for something slightly different. It has been incredible. One lap pace from them, and also in the race pace, right? Okay, because Fade was in the race for the win right to the end last week, and before that, Struggs has been winning the other two races. So it has been incredible pace from the Williams.
That's just awesome. It's probably a good thing that they haven't been racing since day one, since I was, because I might not be champion then of season one.
Yeah, you were very, very consistent all last season. We had some good battles, didn't we, last year? And
Thank you. That was my goal the whole time.
Always quick and consistent, and sometimes you just turn up late.
Yeah.
And throw it on pole. Not even throw it on pole. Like start from the back, and within 5 laps, it's like, oh, how's the man in the contention for the leader's race?
Yeah, I remember I did that in. I remember in Monaco. I literally got home, and it was. I think the races were at 4 because of the daylight savings time. But I literally got home. It was like 3:58. I just ran downstairs, and I rolled up, and I think I was. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I was second that race.
Yeah, I definitely. I think only 2 cars finished on the lead lap that race. I certainly had I had a horrible Monaco because the safety car glitched out and didn't come out at all.
Yep,
I underfueled my car by like 5 laps.
I think I actually hit you on one of the first opening laps, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
That was a fun
probably
race.
already going into fuel saving mode at that point in absolute panic.
That was a fun race. But you were no slouch last season as well. I mean, you had that win in Australia, was it?
Yeah, you pushed me all the way. That was
Yeah.
the only time I won. I was absolutely riddled with COVID.
Really?
So I
Wow.
think there's something in that. I've been looking for my next COVID hit ever since.
Wow.
It took me to I was like literally like it felt like a fever dream, that whole Australia race.
Wow.
Like I
if
think you finished ahead on track, but I think the penalties ended up that I won, right?
Yeah, I think you won.
But,
The same thing happened
yeah.
in Singapore, actually. Oh no, you finished ahead of me in Singapore. But it was the
I
vice
finished ahead of
versa.
you in Singapore, but you had less penalties. I think I was
Yep.
trying to build a 3-second gap.
Yeah, I think it was like
I almost got there,
it was
and then
like
I just
2.8.
completely like crumbled. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good
So
time.
we have
Season
a
one.
chonk. We had a chonk on a hot lap at the moment, so we'll go on board as he goes through turn 1, and this tricky turn 2 and turn 3 sector. You've got to use as much of the bumps as possible, and the final straight to end the sector 1. I tell you what, we'll get the lap data up so we can see what it does in sector 1. How did it do? It's 1:28.8. He hasn't set a lap time yet. So as he goes through sector 2, turn 4 and 5, it's really tight and fiddly. This going into this double right-hander of turn 6 with 2 apexes. And we come to the S's. I just dislike the S's in this game completely. I think they're modelled wrong. I don't think they're quite correct to how they're meant to be in real life. And I really don't like the S's.
But the cars
Really
look
hard to
amazing
get
through
a
there,
good drive out of it.
especially in spectator
Yeah,
mode.
they do look amazing. They do absolutely look amazing. And then we come into this stadium section. Now, the stadium section is absolutely awesome to spectate on because if you get it just in the curbing, there's a good camera in there in the race. Hopefully, we'll see it a few times. But yeah, it's a nice to spectate on. And just running wide at the exit of stadium, running to turn 16 and through turn 17. And where does he go? 1:17.8.
Well,
So
P3
yeah, up there in the mix.
with a second behind Struggs. That's
I think
insane.
Struggs has been practicing this week.
That's
I think Struggs has been practicing.
that's unreal from Struggs. I don't know how he's gonna beat that in Q2 and 3.
Yeah, do you think he's prematurely shot his wad? Is that what
I
you're saying?
think so. I mean, it's Q1. You don't really need that good of a time. You can go out on mediums. Someone like Struggs or Fake could just go out on mediums, just set a like banker time almost.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, this year, the problem is, I don't know if you've noticed, but in F122, you only get one set of hard and one set of mediums in the race.
Oh, really?
So if you go,
Okay.
like, it's completely incorrect. So you get 2 sets of mediums or 2 sets of hard in real life.
Yeah.
But in the game, unless it's a sprint weekend and you can kind of game your tires a bit, you kind of want to save those mediums for the race. But I do know what you mean. You can just kind of go out, and if you've got a 1:16.8 in the locker, you've got a 1:18 in the locker, right? Yeah,
Just don't need to be pushing it to the absolute limit on Q1.
Yeah, I think like that is a worthy kind of criticism of Spruggs, because last weekend he like got into a position in Australia. I don't know if you're watching the practice, the qualifying, but in Q1 he almost didn't make it through because he tried to set like a purple lap time each time round, as we see Chonks slow up very dramatically and a Haas coming and getting by okay. I think he put himself under so much more pressure than he needed to, but he still got pumped, so what does it matter, right? It could cost him, but it hasn't yet. So 7 minutes left in the drop zone. We have Alpha Integral, so he made it in. He's reserving for the McLaren this weekend. Geordie in 15th position. He's reserving for Haas. Those are 2 reserve drivers this weekend. Bent's in 17th, yet to set a lap. Toblerone, Joker, and Skull, are they yet to set a lap, or have they crashed out? I'm not quite sure what's happened there, to be honest. It looks like they're out, right? We can check the race director and see if there's been any crashes. Incidents. Doesn't really say anything in the incidents, but is this so Scullaball's of course retired because he is serving a penalty. Joker has DNF and Toblerone has retired. So maybe Toblerone taking a kind of solitary I'll start from the back with Skull kind of tactic. Maybe a legit tactic to start from the back, because it is so difficult to turn around here.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. You know, I would almost say that you don't necessarily want to get pole at Mexico.
Why? Because the slipstream's so great.
Yeah, the slipstream is just absolutely insane in the turn 1. I mean, last year during the in real life race, you saw Max Verstappen go from 3rd to 1st in the first corner.
Yeah. obviously chunks, spin it out of the stadium. He's going for another run now. I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. I think he's on 0 laps. So is that an out lap?
Be very careful reversing there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just next to the pit entry on the right side of the cone too, so
I see. That's
he
what
can
he's
get back
do.
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll go on board with Fed. I think he has. I think he's done a hot lap actually because he's got on 2 lap old softs and he's got no EOS at the start of the lap. So I presume he's already gone and set a lap time. I mean, he's 7 tenths behind his teammate. Yeah. Casual 7 tenths.
As you do, like in the same car. But I think it should be a good race. It looks like most people, 3 people out, it's going to be relatively, I'm not going to say easy, but like relatively non-difficult to get through to Q2. The people in the back might want to do some more laps just to hopefully get themselves over that buffer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's 2 drop zone places right now. So Alpha Integral's not set a lap time. He was super quick last weekend, but then didn't set a lap time in Q2, and then didn't really like the wet conditions, I don't think. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to see what he could do. Actually, we need to see if there's any rain forecast for qualifying. I can see the next 2 sessions on an application I use, and there's no rain so far for qualifying.
Okay.
But, I think Geordie's probably got a faster lap time on him than that. Alpha Integral certainly has a fast lap time. We have Bulbargo and Fence has...
What's happened to Fence?
Crashed. Fence he was on a hot lap and I think he's crashed at the end of the S's. So
that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. As we have many of our runners in the pits. McLeod is the only car out on track at the moment. We have Fade and Alex. They've both felt like their laps are good enough and retired from the session. I think Struggs can probably retire from the session too, unless he wants to go and beat a 116.88.
I'm surprised he didn't retire immediately after setting that.
Just drop the mic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So McLeod's going into the pits, so we'll have all the runners in the pits for now. So Fence, he'll be starting quite a lowly position. We only have 1 drop zone at the moment, and we have 3 minutes left in the session, so we should see some cars come out soon. Certainly, I think everyone from Captain Rainbow Fox down.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'd like to see Alpha Integri. I've never seen him drive before, so I'd like to see him do a qualifying lap. I don't know if he's here right now. He might be away.
He may be away. He may be just coming in and wanting to start near the back. Again, I don't know. It looks like he's coming out the pits, though, unless that is Alex. No, he's retired. So Alex, Alpha Integral, his Tango in the Discord, he is coming out the pits.
Nice. Okay, let's watch. I'm going to watch him. See what he can do.
So on the outlap, I'll quickly go through the comments. Louis says, I believe that's Lou. He says, Z-Man have my babies. Will says, good luck tonight. Hope you're recovering, Will. Hope you're doing okay. Joker says, that's why I crashed to save all my soft tyres. And some get well soon messages for Wool, and Joker says Toblerone retired to eat. So
fair enough.
I mean, there were certainly a few sessions where you started from the back, and it didn't cost you anything, did it? And look with Matusa last weekend.
I think in this racing league, it's basically anyone's game. You can start from wherever, and you can finish the ties to as low as you want, really, starting from the back.
Yeah.
It's anyone's game.
There's bound to be safety cars, right?
Absolutely, especially in Mexico with those high-speed S's, especially on the first lap, and turn 1, of course.
I think it's not quite as high as like a chance to say last weekend at Australia or Canada.
Yeah,
but I still think it's like medium to high.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Because this league, you do 100% races, fatigue starts to creep in.
Absolutely,
you usually have
you're absolutely right.
Halfway splitting. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think especially with this humongous straight, I don't know exactly how long it is, but it's insane. It's one of the highest on the F1 calendar. But coming down from the starting in turn 1, you have such a high top speed going into there to turn 1. If you miss your braking point at all, you're going to be in the back of someone else's car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've put a message in to be cautious into turn 1 lap bomb, certainly, because watching some of those pre-race lobbies, it was people trying daring moves. Let's say that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think on the last one that I saw, I think Fox got hit, something like that. Fox and Fence, something like that.
Yeah, so I think Geordie went up the inside of Fox, and that cost Fox to put him into a spin, and then it just turns into a muddle, to be honest.
Yeah,
I try not
absolutely.
to pay any attention until there's people tell me what happens afterwards.
Yep. I don't think I can remember.
It'd be awesome to have replays, but you
Yeah,
don't
I
have
know.
that
I agree with you.
So.
Yeah, but I think in our league we always have some sort of lap one incident. On the ones that we don't, it's usually like a miracle. I think in Monaco last year we actually had like 2 incidents in the entire race, which was incredible.
Yeah.
Which just doesn't make any sense. But like,
I think I was one of those incidents at Monaco. I think I dropped it on the exit of the swimming pool to the run to Rascas.
Yeah, and I hit you for that.
I think everyone collided with me.
Yeah,
because somehow I didn't have any underfloor damage.
Yeah, because you were literally blocking the entire road. You were just perfectly sideways.
And I had wedged it. I think some people retired over that, and I literally didn't retire. It's like in Singapore, like I got crashed really heavily into the back of me, and like every single time I think that was a retirement, but for whatever reason it wasn't a retirement.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely, yeah. The F1 2021 physics on retirements were really weird last year. I will agree with that. I don't know how they are in 22. I haven't played it very much, but I assume they're probably almost the same. Maybe even worse because EA.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more delicate on the floor damage.
Right, I guess that makes sense with this year's car.
Yeah, I mean the wing damage also hurts a bit more than it did at the start. Like you could have no wing and complete a race, no problem. Like at the start, it was completely broken. Like they've gone too far the other way. Like light wing damage in F1 21 was like horrendous. Light wing damage in this was like normal racing car. So yeah, they've gone completely the wrong way with that. So we have Alpha Integral. He's coming in to set a lap time, just coming through the stadium sections, turn 13, 14, and he goes to the right hand of 16 here. And all the way to 17. Where does he come in? Is this enough to hoist him up from the back of the grid? It is a 117.1, and he goes second with that.
Second.
So
wow.
he's
saw that
up
coming?
into the fight. So he's only 3 tenths away from Strugger.
Wow, talk about waiting till the last second.
Yeah, I know. That's putting pressure on, right? Or maybe he's just trying to save some tyres.
Yeah.
But that is putting pressure on. I am going to quickly make a clip of this just in case we need to reset.
Yep. So unfortunately, that pushes Jordi out of Q1. Kevin got getting through the Q2. My former teammate. Good for him. Love Kevin. Everyone loves Kevin. But yeah. So it looks like Jordi, Fence, Toblerone, and Joka and Skull are out of Q1, unfortunately for them. Except only one of them who was eliminated inside a lap time. So.
Yeah, just Jordi, and I don't think he went out for another lap. I think he felt he was safe for whatever reason.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but in how competitive our lobbies are, you can never really know that you're safe. It's very nice.
Okay, I have that clip, so that's good.
All right.
We have 15 minutes on the clock for Q2. So car's still in it. Louis Vest in the Aston Martin. Alpha Integral, he went second at the end of there. He's in the McLaren. Fade Williams, he was up in third. AJ, he's still in it. Struggs, Matusas, Fox, Chonk, Sol, McLeod, Kevin, Ball Baggery, Ben, Alex, Rugriff, and OS. They're all in the Q2 shootout. Chance to get into the top 10 here. And they're all coming out, right? They're all coming out. Is that just them wanting to set a lap time early, or is there rain coming? I don't think there's rain coming. It doesn't look like there's rain coming, at least.
That would make things interesting. Rain at Mexico is always throws a wrench into things.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially through those S's.
I find it a really difficult track.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Mexico it was never really my favorite track. I'm glad that Syndicate Racing is going here because I feel like this was a track that was excluded last year. But it's such a good racing track for all conditions. I mean, it's very high up, so you have that factor to take into, and plus it's extremely flat. I mean, there's only like 3 meters of elevation change to the entire track.
It is, yeah, that is a good point. It is incredibly flat, the track, and I think the reason we didn't do it last season is because we try and stick to the regular season as much as possible. Now, we can't do this track in its normal slot because it actually starts at like 8 p.m. when we race, so it would be starting now. So we've kind of said, well, we would have raced it, so let's bump it forward into one of the 3 weekends.
Right.
So that's why we're doing Mexico for that. And it's the first time we've done Mexico. So no previous winner here. So we have nothing to compare it to. Like Australia, we had something to compare it to a bit. They've changed it quite a lot since last time around.
Right. Absolutely.
But we don't know how many people will finish this race compared to last time, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all 20 drivers on the grid they're all very consistent. They're very competitive. It's really anyone's game, really. Matusas won last weekend. I mean, who saw that coming? I mean, that was just incredible.
I mean, yeah, he pulled out the bag, didn't he?
Yeah, I know.
Pulled that one out of the bag.
I mean, that was his first win, right?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was just incredible. So it's basically.
I mean, he only got his first podium like the week before, so he's really come in because
what happened to him?
F121. He really struggled with consistency and finishing races.
Yeah,
but I think he's really got that consistency down. As we see, Struggs go and set the first sector fastest time, and I think is it Alpha Integral just still chilling in the pits. He likes the pressure, I think. Be interested to see if Struggs can go any faster here.
Yeah, I know. I want to see if he can beat that time. That's what I'm interested in. But
he won't be the first to set a lap time, and I won't talk about his helmet this weekend because I spoke about it last week, and apparently he wanted me to talk about what colour his helmet was, right?
Struggs.
And it was a big practical joke, basically. Yeah. Matusas just pulling to the side. Struggs going to use. I think this is Geordie or maybe Kev. Actually, no, it's Kev.
Oh, was that his outlap?
Yeah, I think it was his.
maybe not.
So 117.2, so only as fast as Alpha Integral. So you're right, he's gone slower. Fade, he's in a 117.4, so that's an improvement around last time.
Yeah, it's getting close between the two Williams.
OS, he's in the 117.5 as well, only a temp down on Fade. He's got into third place. Who is next over the line? I think IBN is next over the line. What can he set? He goes into fifth position. Next is Captain Fox. How has he done? He puts it into fifth. He takes fifth off IBN. And we have McLeod coming through the final sector. I think Chonk going onto an outlap. Who was that? Was that AJ? I think that may have been AJ. But we have McLeod. He's just coming around the final few corners.
That was a yellow flag in sector 3.
No, and yeah, he's bailed out of that one. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Where was that?
That's the what is it? Corner? It was turn 12. Yeah, I think I don't know what it was. Ooh, we got
maybe Alpha Integral taking it super slow on his outlap, or maybe he's actually crashed because he's come straight back in Alpha Integral, and yeah, is that Matusas?
I think it was
going slowly through the.
I think something happened.
Waiting off the racing line for IBN to go by, but I think he set a lap time. I think he's just trying to get out of the way, but he could be waiting there all day. If he stayed there.
Yeah, it's a short racetrack, Mexico. Surprisingly, it doesn't seem like it's that short, but I mean, it's the second shortest on the F1 calendar.
You just feel like you're forever on that first straight and then the second straight, right? They just take so much longer than they actually do. At least they feel like they're taking longer.
Yeah, right. I know exactly what you mean. Because you're just waiting for that breaking point, but you're just waiting. It feels like you're waiting forever.
Yeah, and then you get to it, you miss the breaking point.
Yeah, it's really always turn 1. Mexico always does it.
So just Kevin on an outlap at the moment. I think Rugriff and Lou they are both coming back into the pits, I presume. Lou's come back into the pits, so they've set lap times 8th and 10th, the two Aston Martins this weekend. 11th is IBN, and then Alpha Integral, Matusas, McLeod, and Kevin, Mr. Bulbagui, yet set a lap time.
I would love to
your
see...
old teammate.
I would love to see Kevin get through into Q3. I mean, he's such an honest guy, such a fun driver to drive with. I mean, he struggled a little bit in F121, but he was always positive. He always had a good time, and it was just always a fun time being his teammate. So I'd love to see him do well this weekend.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him have a Q3 appearance. I think certain tracks he certainly has it in his locker.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have thought Australia would have been one of those, but I think he had a bit of a rough time around there. I think certainly in F121, Australia and Suzuka were his tracks.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, he did well in those. I think he scored. I think he scored a 4th in one of those races.
Yeah, I think he may have done it Australia.
Yeah, but I mean, he's on a hot lap now, isn't he? Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going into turn 1.
Yep.
The right-hander that leads into this tricky left and right of turns 2 and 3. You open it up onto the secondary straight. Use the same DRS activation as turn 1, which is super fucking frustrating if you've just been overtaken. And brake at 100 into this left-hand corner of turn 5. 4 into 5, and then this double right-hand of turn 6 into the S's. This leads into, I find the S's, the braking zone, super, super difficult to get right. And, compromise you every single time through there if you get it slightly wrong. All the way through the S's. You don't really recover until here, at least. That's a bit wide through there from Kev. And does he keep it in the white lines? That may just have been a DNF. So. Yeah, he's already on 3% battery charge. So, and that's certainly wide through there. I think that would have been a lap time removal. Let's see if he goes into pits. He doesn't look like he's on it anymore, does it?
Oh, very wide. Almost at the wall.
Super wide there, too. Is he going for another lap, or maybe it wasn't? Oh, no. So 120 or 122.
I just want to say, as he crossed the line to end Sector 2, it flashed purple for a second until Struggs crossed it. So I think he had pace in Sector 2. Yeah, I think he might have just thrown it away in Sector 3.
Maybe a mistake in Sector 1, yeah, and Sector 3. We have Struggs, he's on an outlap at the minute. I think Alpha Integral is on a lap. He's going through Sector 2. He's at a 57.292. How does he do for the stadium section?
Oh, such a beautiful section of racetrack, the stadium section in Mexico. It's just absolutely tremendous.
It is really, really nice to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine just being in that crowd, first of all. It's just absolutely, it must be electric.
Alpha Integral, he goes up into first.
Wow, look at that.
So he's getting faster, he's improving. I mean, we know Struggs has got a faster lap time in him there.
Absolutely, but does he have the ability to pull it out in Q2 or Q3? That's the question. Yeah, that is the question. I think Struggs, I think we could safely say the top 5, 6, 7, I think the top 6 certainly are making it through to this next session, right? Yeah, I think so too.
Track evolution.
I'd say anything after 6 could be questionable because Fox could pull out a better time. Most people in the bottom 5 could pull out a better time. Especially Matusas, who hasn't. Yeah. I don't think he's put in a time yet.
No, he must be on a lap now. He has gone up into third. Yeah, so
wow, there we go.
So a very good lap time. So I think this may be the first weekend where Williams are starting 1-2. I hate to jinx it this early, but it's a very competitive field this weekend.
Yeah, I think among the top 4, it's anyone's game for pole from the top 4 on. So it should be a very, very interesting qualifying session, or end to a qualifying session rather.
So some comments from the chat. Soul Collector saying, I want beaver tails. I don't really understand that. Z-Man started from the back in Singapore last season and shit on everybody that day. I think
yes, I did.
I think that was one of those races.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Because I didn't want to forget.
Yeah, that was OS Degrees who said that. Louis says he also wants beaver tails. I have no idea what that means. It's probably something nasty. Let's go. Kev from Lou. Love the commentary from Joker. Strug saying, I was on scrub tyres, Crab. That's why he's done a 117 too. And Red Bull Teamwork, there's a good Sector 3 from Struggs, apparently. So on scrub tyres from Struggs. So he's got a 117.087 now. So that presumably isn't on scrub tyres.
Yeah. Very, very close to Alpha Integri.
Yeah. I mean, he's still got 2 temps in his bag, right? So I think that's enough to go through. I think he's...
Yeah, absolutely. He should
be...
I
don't think he needed to do that second lap.
No.
I feel like he's definitely took a little bit of umbrage at us saying maybe he can't get him a lap time in, and he's done a 17.0. So a good lap time there, but he can go faster, right? I'm expecting to see a 115 from Struggs. Anything else would be disappointing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think world record is on the table for Struggs at this point.
No pressure.
Yeah, Rugriff. Sorry, excuse me. Rugriff coming through, is he gonna... Oh, just can't get himself out. I like Rugriff. I was hoping he would get himself out of the bottom 5.
Yeah, he's took my seat, and he's wearing a Sebastian Vettel-inspired helmet this weekend with the yellow, red, and black stripes of the German flag. So I quite like that helmet. We have IBN. He's coming to pits. Miss Bullwagger, he's also coming to pits. Fox, he's in the drop zone, so is Louis Vest. So Lou will have to come out, and he is coming out. He's coming out the pits as we speak. McLeod, is he coming out the pits? I think he's in 10th. He'll have to. Alex Trenchy, he's on out lap 2. I think Rugriff is the only one. I don't think he will set another lap time here, will he? I think he may. If he's got enough fuel, he could recharge, right? And maybe do another lap time. But
I think he might have enough time to do like just one more lap if he can save his tires, save his ERS until he gets to the line. But it'd be very,
he's
very
got
close.
Alex Trenchi behind, who's not on a hot lap. So, I think his fuel indicator's flashing. So we have Louis Rivest, Captain Fox. He's just started a lap. He's looking to improve to get through to Q3. Chonk, he's not gone out. He feels safe on a 117.8. So we're looking at the drop zone being about a 118.5 here. I imagine. IBN, he's retired. Rugriff will also retire. He's gone into pits. McLeod, he's on an out lap. Lewis is on an out lap. So we'll ride on Fox, because I think Fox will be the first one to set a lap time in that battling few. And then we can concertina down as the times come flying in. They've first 5 runners, they're all in retirement area, really. I think Fade.
Yeah, I think I know that, yeah.
From 8, they can retire, right? Fade and OS have actually gone out for another lap, which surprised me. Maybe they feel a little bit of pressure. Maybe they want to get their eye in for Q3. But maybe using the benefit of Q2 now is you don't have to start on a tyre that you qualified on if you were in top 10. So you could go and use a bit of life out of that.
Right, understandable.
So,
I think through the top 5 are completely safe. I think anything past 7th could be questionable. I mean, you have a bunch of people on their out lap, people on their flying laps right now, and it's anyone's game for the last 5 positions in Q3.
So a bit of wheel spin going through turn 17 from Fox, but he puts it into 9th. So that's a 1:18.0. So that's a good lap. That puts him heads and tails in front of Alex Trenchi, who's in 10th, and he's on the bubble. McLeod in 11th. So Alex is coming round now with a lap time. Can he be the second McLaren into Q3? And he's up into 9th. So 1:17.9. So now Fox is on the bubble again. So he probably won't have time to respond here.
Fox on the chopping block, but you still got Louis doing another hot lap, isn't he? Yeah, I think so.
Louis on a hot lap. He is coming through the final sector now. Where does he go? Has it been a good lap? I can't really tell from my app. It's not showing me the sector times. So we'll just have to see as he crosses the time beam. He goes into so Fox is out.
Fox out.
The times are tumbling right. Okay, I said 1:18.5 would be the cutoff, but it looks like a 1:17.8. Wow. How are we doing? McLeod, he's coming through. Can he set a fast enough lap time? I think he'll be the final car who could dislodge anyone here.
Has Kevin crashed?
And I think Kevin has crashed. He's disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. Okay.
All right.
So Rugif is on an out lap, but I think I don't think he's got time unless he cuts this corner here and does something miraculous.
It's going to be very close.
Absolutely dicing. Yellow flags. We can't actually see how long's left in the session, but this is going to be very, very close. 4 seconds. I don't think he's done it. Oh, he's been so close. Is he on the lap?
I think he's done it.
He's on the lap. He's had to use up all his ERS to
get on gosh!
The lap,
Wow.
He has a chance to put the second Aston Martin into Q3. Louis is safe at this point. It's just Alex Trenchi who's on the bubble. I can't actually believe he made that lap time there. That must have been milliseconds on the clock.
That was millisecond perfect. That was insane. But the problem is now he's used all of his ERS trying to get to the line. It's only got 20% left now.
He'll taken a bit of life out of the tyres as well. I'm surprised he didn't just cut a sneaky corner. But I think I would have been inclined to cut a sneaky corner somewhere.
If he gets out of Q2, this would be one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, it would be a dramatic turn. I didn't think he was making it, but how is he doing? So he's got a second basically to improve on his lap time. Can he do it? It's all or nothing. You might as well. He's got 6% battery charge left. I think.
Yeah, it looks like a good lap so far. Really
right at the end.
Neat and tidy.
So as he goes through the stadium section, can he dislodge McLeod? The McLeod.
It looks like a good lap.
Above? Let's see as he comes over the line. Through turn 17, hits the time beam. Where did he go up to? Oh, it's only 11th. Only 11th. 30. What is that?
300ths of a second behind.
300ths of a second?
Yeah.
300ths of a second.
Oh, this is brutal. Heartbreak for the Aston Martin team.
Oh.
Well, heartbreak for half of the Aston Martin team, I should say.
They've got pace. Quick drivers this weekend.
They do have pace.
It's such a competitive field.
They'll be ones to keep an eye on during the race.
Vogue saying his heart was pounding, and Sol saying a good effort from Rugreff at the end. A lot of heart. Yeah. A lot of heart to get out there and not throw the towel in. I honestly didn't think he was making it. I couldn't believe he did.
Oh, wow, that was a good Q2. That was one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, but good to see the competitive lap times right at the kind of for top 10. To get into the top 10, you have to have a good lap time, right? Okay, so it's getting more and more competitive in the league.
One thing I would like to point out, though, I don't even think we mentioned Chonk P2, 1:17.05.
Oh, right, okay, he's turned it on. Yeah, definitely.
Where's that come from? Wow, top 3 in 1/10 of a second. I mean, that's just incredible. Or top 3, rather. So I mean, I think it's anyone's game for pole position, if you want it or not at this racetrack. But if you're gonna go for it, I couldn't really tell you my prediction for pole because I don't think I have one.
Yeah. Well, you said it. Let's have a prediction for pole. Who are you saying? Put your money where your mouth is, or don't put your money where your mouth is.
Well, the thing is, Struggs had such good form. He did that 16.8 in Q1 for some reason, but then again, there's some really fast drivers on the grid. I mean, you got Chonk and Alex and Alpha Integri. I mean, they were right up there. I think it's any one of those three could be on pole, but I think I'm going to go Struggs, make the safe choice for now.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think Struggs is getting the vote from Ben was taken in the chat. Vogue Trent says Alex Trent. I don't know who that is. So I think it's Struggs or. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna say Chonk.
Really?
Let's have a Chonk poll.
You know, that would be
this time, so
an amazing day if Chonk got pole.
Yeah, I'd love to.
That would be something to celebrate.
How did you find battling with Chonk in the league last season?
I like Chonk. I think he's a good driver. He's always super funny. I'll say that. He knows his strengths. He knows his weaknesses. I don't think I raced him a whole lot, but I think he's always well respectful, very nice driver. I think he's been involved in a few incidents, some of them to his own volition. But I think he knows that, he's aware of his weaknesses, and he just, drives and just hopes for the best, really.
Every overtake is championship deciding for him. That's why it's great to watch. Not necessarily great for his racecraft.
That is such a good way to describe it.
He puts everything on the line every single corner.
He always
doesn't know when to just rein it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rugriff saying he's devastated. Team put together a good car and just couldn't put one together in time. Crossed the line for a lap with just 1 second to spare. So he was right on the line.
Wow.
And talking like a true Aston Martin racer now. He's really getting into the role play of it all. So I think we'll go on board for Matusas as
is he the one in first? Yes, he is. Okay.
He's the one in first. So hopefully.
Well, I don't think we should count him out either, because we saw he is fast, and especially in that pre-race lobby, he was pole, wasn't he? So he does have pace.
He does have the pace. I wonder if he's just been building up to a lap, or whether Struggs will just come out and do a 1:15 flat, or something like that now. But Matusas, he's definitely got the pace to be in the top 5 this weekend.
Absolutely. I think this should be a very interesting Q3. I mean, Q3 is always very exciting. Oh!
So Matusas just spins at the S's. That's
an unfortunate place to spin too. Scary.
He can let cars go by as well, but he doesn't want to wait for too long, because otherwise he'll get disqualified. So we'll go back on board with OS Degrees. Hopefully he can pull himself out of that spin there. OS Degrees will be the first person to set a lap time as he goes through the stadium section. I think
Matusas has turned himself around. He's back on the track now. It's all good. But I would love to see.
That's good.
I would love to see what's too good. I mean, he's a fantastic driver. 1:17. Wow, 999. Very close to 1:18. But he's a fantastic driver. Yeah, pushed me all the way last year. I'm so gutted that he didn't get his chance to compete in the final race. I don't think that was his.
Lord. Sorry, 1:16.3 from Struggs, right?
1:16.3? What the?
Fade's gone on 1:16.7. That's an absolutely subliminal lap time. Not subliminal, sublime.
That's incredible. Nothing short of it.
That is incredible. Yeah. So can I change my answer to Struggs on pole? So
I think it's too late now.
But who knows? He's gone on to a lap. Let's check the detail of the telemetry. See if he's starting a lap. I think he must be starting a lap, right?
Yes, I think so. I think he's just started it, but there's traffic though, so it might be he just passed. I think that was Fade.
Yeah, so those two Williams boys may be starting.
Wow,
next
another
to each
Williams
other
one too.
We'll see what Alpha and Tegel has. So it's Alex
then
just
again,
going on to a lap now.
At Mexico, do you really want to lock out the front row? I mean, last year wasn't it? It was Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, right? I think top three.
Yeah.
And then Verstappen just had them both in the first corner, and then he just went on into the distance and won the race. So like,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you got what?
I think
800.
Purple second set of time there from Alpha. Let's see. Maybe they won't be locking out the front row after all. This will be a close lap time, I think.
Sean crossed the line. 1:18.1, not bad. Not bad at any rate.
That's a 1:16.4 from his Tango.
Wow.
So the battle is on here, right?
It's going to be a close one.
Absolutely on.
It's going to be exciting for sure.
Struggs wins the first round, but there will be another round. There'll be at least one more lap time, right? I think just one more lap time.
One or two, yeah. Depending on how fast you can pit for tires.
Austria, you can definitely do three laps in Q3.
Yes, I think
so. If you can go out, do a lap, go out, do a lap, go out, do a lap, and get over just for about 30 seconds to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, this track it's not that much slower than Austria. I mean, it's only like what 10 seconds slower than Austria.
Yeah, 10 seconds. Yeah. I think you probably could.
So I think you might be able to make it. I mean, Mexico is one of 3 tracks with 71 lap races, including Austria and Brazil. So they're right around this distance. I think they're almost the same in actual like track length. But I think Mexico's just a little bit slower. But I think you should be able to get 3 laps in if you're just pushing the entire time. That's all it depends on, really.
I think Alex had a bit of a slow lap there. I think he's backed out of the initial lap, and he's probably on another lap here because he's still got a load of ERS. So 1:31. So I think he can go a lot faster than that, right? So he must have had a moment.
Yep.
Decided to back out of that lap.
Yeah, who's right behind him? Is that
also
OS?
Just starting on lap.
I'd love to see OS do good.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's been getting better at this game. I don't think he has quite the pace that he did in F1 21. Let's say.
In 21, he was just a menace to me the entire season. He was always
he pushed
there.
Me to the end, right?
Yeah, he pushed me right to the end. I'm still gutted that he lost his chance to fight me in the last race, because I think he absolutely deserved that chance. He was just a phenomenal driver all season, super consistent. He knew exactly what his strengths and weaknesses were. But I'd love to see him do well on this game and get as close to the championship or even win the championship.
Really good racecraft from the Ferrari team, unlike real life. I always found they always seem to be doing the right thing. So Alex gone up into 5th position at 1:17.5.
Wow, very good for him.
So knocks OS into 6th, but he's on an out lap at the moment. Matusas, he's on a fast lap and just coming through the final sector. He sets a purple middle. So Matusas certainly staking his claim to the throne here. Let's see if he can get there. Oh, you'd love to see it, wouldn't you?
I'd love to see it.
And then finish 17th. The reverse of last weekend.
All right, across the line.
Comes through the final corner. How's he done?
Only good
so
enough for P5.
So good middle sector, but not anywhere near in the final sectors there. So that'll be a shame for him. We have a bit of info on the race. The race looks like it's going to be sunny all the way through. So it looks like no wet conditions for the race. We have Alex Trent G. He's going to be coming into the pits, and OS, he is going to set a lap here, so he's only just into the 1:17s with that lap time. You have to think he could probably go about half a second quicker than that. Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between Struggs and Alpha and Tegri is basically nothing. I mean, it's less than 1/10 of a second. I think if one of them gets some clean air, they get out there, maybe even a draft from a car in front of them, it could be either one of them could be on pole.
Absolutely. This battle's way still on. Fade. He's also very, very quick. Sometimes can pull a lap time out of nowhere. He could take the pole position. AJ, he's dipped into the 1:16s. I think they're doing the toe. Look, the two Red Bulls are certainly doing the toe here. trying to give AJ. I think he's doing a tow for Soul Collector at the moment, but trying to give each other every last ounce of track time out there. Let's see where AJ pulls off. The green helmet of AJ. Does he pull off to the right hand side here? Yeah, let Soul go through. So Soul, he has a 1:19.1 at the moment. Let's see where that bit of teamwork can put him. Although AJ hasn't got out of the way yet. So I thought he would have got out of the way.
Are they both on
Maybe
hot
he's going to
laps?
try and.
I thought they were trying to give a
both on hot
tow.
laps? Yeah, it looks like they're trying to give a tow, but maybe they are both on hot laps. Yeah, maybe you're right. It does look like they're trying to give a tow, right? Soul Collector's going to be losing a lot of time through the S's running that close. Maybe he felt like he'd drop away anyway, so might as well just.
I think Soul
use
just
the tow as
invalidated
much
his
as possible.
lap.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because my track map is red, so I'm not sure. I think he just went a little bit
that
wide.
one's invalidated. I think AJ's also invalidated too.
Oof.
He's
Let's
not
see
used up any of the EOS as well.
Let's see if its time improves, maybe.
Struggs is on a lap. He's just started a lap.
I want to see that.
He's on an out lap at the moment. Yeah, let's go on board with Struggs. Turn 1, clips that inner curve. It's just amazing how much curve they use. Like, I looked at that and thought, that's an invalidation, but he's not invalidated, right?
He's just
uses
perfect.
so much curve. Yeah.
Yeah, into turn, what is this, 4?
Turn 3. I believe that's 4 into 5, this right-hander, and then the next one's 6.
Wow. He drives so precisely. It's actually very fun to watch.
It's incredible that he's on a controller, right?
He's not a
what?
What?
It doesn't look... he's a controller racer. Like, it's incredible, isn't it? He's so smooth. He doesn't look like a controller racer.
That makes it so
I think
much
he's
more
invalidated
impressive.
through the S's, though. So he's backed off here. So he will have another shot at a lap time here. I think he'll just have enough ERS, but it's not optimal conditions for him. Alpha Integral, he is on a lap and coming into the run to turn 4 again. Let's see how he can do. It doesn't look like he's gone purple in the first, but this will be his last chance, certainly, I think. Unless he makes a mistake, he could probably get round. I'm not quite sure about that one, but
very neat and tidy so far.
Here. Yeah.
Wow, the S's look great from Alpha Integrity. That might be a good time.
Yeah.
Ooh, it just flashed purple on my screen.
Oh, did it flash purple? Oh, okay. I didn't see that. So maybe he's on a quick time after all.
Maybe, we'll see.
As he comes out the stadium section, he'll cross the timing beam. He won't have time for another lap with the EOS charge, so this is his final shot at getting pole position at the Mexican Grand Prix. Where can he turn?
He's on.
He gets a 1:16.2. He gets it.
Wow.
Provisional pole for the McLaren driver.
Wow.
Literally subbed in the last 30 minutes before the race. Struggs retires. Struggs has retired from the session, so we may not have a Williams on poles. Where does Fade go? Fade goes 1:16.7. Fade is only third. We have OS Degrees. He's coming around the final corner as we speak. Where can he go? Can he go up from 8th position? At the moment,
I think AJ's on
top 5.
Fast lap too as he goes into the stadium.
So OS no better than 8th. He does improve his lap time, but only by 2 tenths, and can't dislodge Alex. So AJ going through the stadium now, out of the stadium, turn 16 in 17, and where does he go? Is this enough to get into the top 3? It's a 1:16.7 again. 3 hundredths of a second there behind another car. And very close.
Very close.
We have Alex.
He almost got Fade.
Alex.
But wow, look at this.
Where does Sean go? In 6th.
P6, good for him. And then Alex, I think he's the only one out who can still improve his lap time. I think he's on a fast lap. So
wow, very, very quick. Very, very quick from the other McLaren. Can Alex do something? Give them both a top 5 start? He's had a bit of pace this weekend, Alex. I don't think he improved there.
I don't know if you saw it. It almost looks like he lifted over the line.
Yeah.
Huh, that's very odd.
I'm unsure about that one, but... but I mean, Alpha's got to keep his concentration up, so that means smash them all.
Absolutely incredible for Integri. I mean...
Yeah, his second race and his first pole position in the league, so...
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be strong. He guessed it would be Chonk, and out of nowhere, Integri puts it on pole. Over a tenth of a second, I should say.
Right? Yeah. Incredible.
Wow, good for him.
So, I will just get the clip of these results, and I think we'll just have to watch Alpha Integral pit. It's really frustrating that once it's in the pit, it's the end of the session, but it makes you watch the whole pitting thing.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. Such a waste of time. I will get the ready up rule going as well, actually, while I think about it.
All right, yeah, the bot. Is that Bot Mylander?
Bot Mylander. He helps out.
That's a good name. I love that.
Say it'll be at 9:05 p.m. Oh, actually, AJ's doing it by looks of things.
All right, wow, that's a fantastic qualifying session.
Really, really good. Really close from all the drivers. I mean, between first and fifth, you have 5 tenths of a second, right?
Yeah, so half a second, really. That's nothing. Yeah, I think we always underestimate. We always see, oh, the driver was 0.2 of a second behind. He's a lot slower, but especially in real life. But I don't think we really understand how quick 0.2 of a second is, and how close these gaps are between drivers.
So we have those results recorded. So I think AJ's put the ready up rule in. I think he said 9:05, right, for the race start.
I think I'm not actually looking. I'm looking at our stream. Yeah. 18 viewers on a stream, or at least that's what I'm showing.
18 viewers. That's nice to see. But we have 21. Yeah, so 21:05 is the race start time. We have Williams. The first time they haven't been on pole this season. The first time Strug's not been on pole.
Wow.
So we'll see how he does starting from second place. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially in Mexico, 800 meters to the first turn, one of the longest. Actually, no, it is the longest run down into turn one. Now that Russia is gone,
really,
thank God.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
But again, the benefit
of in the game though. I like Sochi in the game, but yeah. But
I didn't.
In real life.
I hated Sochi so much. People
really
hated it, and I was like, oh, let me try driving it. And I was like, dude, this sucks. It's not fun.
I love the second sector. There's something of the 90-degree corners just flinging it in. Absolutely love the second sector.
There is one, I have no idea what turn it is, but it's in the second sector. There's a good series of corners. That's like the only part that I liked. But anything other than
that.
The
left-hander.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
One of the 90 degrees.
I don't know what number that is.
Me neither.
But yeah, the left. Yeah.
I only have the track map for Mexico on me with the numbers, so.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
But yeah, do we so race starts in 3 minutes now, okay.
Yeah, 3 minutes time until race start. So Strug said 2 minor invalidations for him. That's what cost him. So frustrating. Matusa said could have got P3 but ruined it on the braking zone after the S's. And great telling qualifying session overall. So yeah, good to hear from them. I don't really know what the strategies are this weekend. I feel like the hard tyre is arse, but I also feel like the soft tyre doesn't actually go on for that long.
Yeah, so I feel like at Mexico, Mexico, you're on the throttle for a long time in Mexico, and the braking zones are just absolutely brutal. So the soft tires are going to be torn apart. So I think I
see some. Yeah, a mixture of runners. So we see some mediums, some softs, and some hards starting. If you look at the race direct, you can get.
I can't even see. Peek of what people mine says waiting for players, so I can't see anything.
Oh really? Can you not hit start?
I did start. If I pause it, I see. Never mind. I think it'll be all right.
Yeah.
But I think it'll just change once the race goes into. Once everyone starts running up.
I mean, they can change it, right? So they may not be wanting to reveal what tires they're picking until the 30-second countdown.
Right, absolutely. But yeah, it looks like there's quite a mix of soft, medium. The front three are on soft, medium, hard. So, that's what it showed.
Sol saying he invalidated both Q3 runs. So Alpha is going on a pair of softs, so that's very aggressive if he does go on a pair of softs to start.
Absolutely.
But I guess we can take a look on the formation lap. But he'll have to.
I forgot we do that. I forgot there's a formation lap now. It's exciting for me.
The formation lap's good for that. It gives us time to actually go through the order as well.
Yeah,
I'll run through the order as we go through the formation lap. But we have 2 minutes until the start of the race. But T1 collision, is there going to be the big one going to T1? Yes or no?
see me?
Yeah. Do you think that'll be the big one?
The
Like,
big
usually only
one,
see it
I
on
don't know.
ovals,
We've had some
but
big crashes in this league before, but if there's a big incident that's gonna happen, it's probably going to happen at Mexico, if that makes sense, and to T1.
yeah,
Out of all the
I think
T1s there are,
it's up there with Monza T1. I
yeah,
think with
it's
Monza
definitely up
T1,
there.
at least it gets really tight, so
Yeah,
there isn't much room through 2 and 3. But I feel like
yeah,
here that it's dangerous into T1, and then
yeah.
there's all sorts of afters through 2 and 3 as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Like T1 itself is fast, but you're also slowing down through T1 into T2,
Yeah,
into turn 2 and 3. Because if you even out of place slightly into turn 1, you can hit someone on turn 2. I think last year we saw Yuki Tsunoda get launched into the air into
yeah.
turn 2. So, I mean, just a whole plethora of things can happen. I think Bottas got spun round too last year, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I remember so much about this race, but
Yeah, it's really stuck in your mind.
it really wasn't
All I
that
can
like it wasn't
remember
like that
is
good of a race. But I remember a lot about it for
yeah,
some
I
reason.
remember being really cool. Perez pushing Hamilton for a few laps, but
Yeah,
then not getting by
that
or
was
something.
insane. Imagine being in the crowd for that. But anyway, looks like the
Yeah.
race is gonna be
So we have
starting
the
in
start.
15
Yeah.
seconds.
So it's 2:105. So I don't think this is a ready at Wilton faction. So Aristotle agrees, says prepare for carnage. See if anyone says anything in the Discord. Some good luck, everybody's.
Oh yeah, I should probably put that in there.
And yeah. So as we go through here, we will quickly set up the details correctly. So we'll have position change on the opening lap, telemetry disabled, and lap data
Very slow
enabled.
clearing off the line.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So I don't know if you've seen the formation lap in this, but it doesn't really make a difference where they
Okay.
line up. Right.
Okay.
So yeah, he should be able to race back and take his position, but I think
I
he's
thought he
just
just
going to
got
stay in line.
gapped on the formation lap and was now in P4. I was like, yo. But that's good to know. I haven't experienced one of these formation laps before, so it's entirely new for me.
So Alpha in the McLaren starting on pole. He is a maiden pole in the SRL. He's starting on hards. Strugs in second. He's starting on mediums. Fade, he's starting on hards, so doing the opposite strategy of his teammate, starting alongside him. So third row grid, fourth is AJS. He's starting on the mediums. Matusas also on medium, last week's race winner. Chonk, can he finish? He hasn't finished a race this season yet, so hopefully he'll have a bit more longevity in this race. And he's starting on mediums too. Louis Vest, the first of the runners to start on soft. He's starting in seventh. Alex Trent G, he's on hard, same as teammate in first. OS Degrees, he's in ninth. The Scarlet Ferrari is on mediums. Soul Collector in 10th. He didn't get a good run in Q3. He'll hope to make amends through the race. He's starting on soft. He's going aggressive at the start. Rugriff just missed out on the Q3 shootout. He's gone aggressive on a pair of softs. Captain Rainbow Fox on hards in 12th position. McLeod, he's in 13th on a pair of softs. IBN, he's on mediums. Bobagri, he's in 15th on a pair of softs. Geordie, his Haas teammate, just behind on a pair of softs too. Fence didn't get a lap time in, crashed out of Q1. He is on mediums. Toblerone and Joker in 18th and 19th, both on softs. And Skulder Bull serving a qualifying ban for penalty points. He is starting on mediums at the back. Sure, hoping to just avoid all the carnage at T1. It's probably not the worst one to actually avoid the actual session with. I think this is a terrible.
But he.
Yeah, so it says he's disqualified, but he isn't. He's just missed his marks.
Okay.
It's kind of ass, right? Okay, it's kind of ass. You get used to it, right? Okay, so there's nothing to be worried about so far.
Yeah, but
okay, so as the cars line up, we have the lights about to go on the board. So 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And the Syndicate goes racing. It's a good start from AJ in 4th position. Also a good start from Fade. They'll be putting pressure onto the Strugs. Of course, Alpha Integra has gone backwards on those hard tyres, failed to warm them up. Can everyone keep it safe and tidy through the first corner? It's 4 wide, 3 wide. Let's see if there's any carnage. It doesn't look too bad so far. Quite nice, but the two Williams boys have led at front, and it's Louis Vest is out of the race.
Oh man!
What has happened there? Chonk's up into 3rd position. He's gained massively on the opening lap.
What's happened to Alpha? I mean, he's down 14th.
I think AJS has also dived to the back there. Alpha's also fallen down the order. It's the two Williams cars who have massively benefited from this. We have a safety car,
Yep,
a full
Chonk's in the
course
back.
yellow.
Chonk has no front wing. Sorry, excuse me.
Chonk,
Ignore that.
fade.
But
Oh, okay.
but I knew that there's a serious collision at the back. I'm not sure who that was. But we know Louis is out. Unfortunately, my fellow North American.
Yeah, Louis is out. My old teammate, he's had a bad one. Captain Mayber's out. He's down 7. AJ, excellent off the line. He's down 15 positions, 14 positions actually after the pits. IBN, he's down 3. Matusas, he's down 10 positions. Alpha Integral, our pole sitter, he was nowhere right on those hards.
He just went nowhere.
I don't know if he's had collision. Let's actually go and follow Alpha Integral. Did he have any kind of? He's missing his front wing, so he's going to have to dive off of those hards.
Okay, that's bad.
Wow,
what happened
that's
to him?
very bad news for him.
From P1.
Skull the Bull is up into 10th position after starting 20th. He's a massive gainer. Toblerone up 10 positions. We have McLeod, he's pitting. Let's see. Toblerone, he's up 11 positions. So a great start from the Alphas. OS up 4. Rugriff, he's up 7th place. So one man's misfortune is another man's fortune as he goes into 4th place. His teammate obviously out of the race. So the sole Aston Martin left in. Chonk, he's up 3 positions from the start. And Fade and Strugs up both upper place. So good start from the Williams. I kind of just missed that the McLaren dropped really far behind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
AJS had a rocket start.
Right off the line. I mean, they just drove right by him on the outside pretty much. And then I couldn't see exactly what happened in turn 1, but there was carnage at least a little bit. And then some people have just been tumbling down the order. I don't actually know what happened to Alpha, but he's lost his front wing somehow from P1.
Yeah. So he'll have to race back through the grid to get anywhere near the front of this pack. I think when you are disqualified from the session, so when you miss your marks, you've got a much higher chance of having this bug come up where your tyres go hard cold.
Wow, okay.
And starting on hards, cold tyres.
Yeah, okay, I understand now.
He was swallowed up and must have had a bit of collision through turn 1.
He was just absolutely devoured.
The vest said that was fun. And Toblerone asking what happened. All I saw was cars in the back of each other. So
that was, you know what? The best way I can describe that is T1 at Mexico with heavy cars, with cars full of fuel. Like
it was bound to happen. Like
I'm sure we'll find out exactly what happens in the steward chat later. But for now, we can only really guess because there's no replays.
Yeah, we can just see the big losers and winners. And Skulls gained a few places through the pit stop, so he's up into 8th place. He's up 12 positions.
That's great for him.
So he's in the race with his Alpha teammate right next to him. So I'm sure they can work together a bit. Alex Trent G, he is in 6th position. So McLaren the McLaren had an okay start. OS Degrees, he's up 4 positions. So he'll be happy with that.
Yep, absolutely.
He's up
good
7
for him.
positions. He'll be very happy with that. The two Williams boys can kind of manage this race from the front now.
I'd just like to point out Rugriff is up to P4, which is very, very good for him.
Very good.
When he started, he was 11th, right?
Yeah, he was 11th because he didn't make it through to Q3. Yeah. He's just missed out on the shootout.
Wow,
so I think Alpha's pitted again to go back onto the hards that he started on because obviously they took him off and they didn't put another set of hards on because you only have one set of hards. I think AJ has also made a similar decision to ditch the other tyres and just gone a pair of hards and try and go as long as possible. Hopefully a few more safety cars will help them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, AJ's actually on the softs. AJ is on the softs. That's surprising. Maybe a further damage after the safety car came out. We won't see it come in this lap, I believe. I think maybe the lap after once the pack is bunched together.
Yeah, it's close. I just don't think it's close enough for the safety car to come in. We'll see though. The safety car can be quite weird in the F1 games.
Yeah, I mean, if it bunches up during Sector 3 and the safety car hasn't gone past the pits, then it can still come in. Which is very difficult to judge sometimes when you're like, they're not going to catch it. And then suddenly it's like, safety car in, well, I haven't worn my tyres up. So this is going to be a really bad restart.
It looks like it'll stay out. Which is good news for
I reckon.
Wow, Alpha Integrian, plumb last from first. Very, very unfortunate for him.
So Lou said, got squeezed between Chonk and AJ, and there was contact from my side. That's all he's got for him. So looks like a squeeze between Chonk and AJ, and Lou would make sense why AJ went backwards, but Chonk didn't seem to suffer from that collision.
No,
so I think they just ran out
that's
of room.
interesting. Well, I think Chunk actually got a very good start. I think that might have been one of the reasons that he was involved in the incident. So we'll have to take a look at it later because we don't have replays, but I'm sure it'll be well clipped and we'll see what happens.
So I don't really know what's happened in the middle of the pack here. Fence has got past Skull the Ball under safety car. Now,
very interesting.
Yeah.
That might be a safety car incident, but after the safety car ends, he still does have the first sector to give it back?
Yes, he should do, yeah.
Yes, that's right. A new rule. I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether I actually ever update the league code of conduct with that, but that is a rule we are going to be judging from here, that you can give that back during the first sector of the restart. This should come back in here, right? We're all bunched together.
It should absolutely. There's no reason it should stay out again.
Fade.
I'm gonna go.
You should expect to gap fade here on those different tires.
Yeah, I'd expect. Who knows? Fade and Strugs, they might be working together. They might not. We could see Hamilton Rosberg. We could see a Hamilton Bottas. Who knows?
I think Fade's got a point to prove. He's 20 points behind in the battle. There's still a fight to be had for him.
He's pretty close to Strugs, so let's see. Yeah. I'm gonna be on board with Strugs. Actually, no, I'll go on board with Fade.
One consistent restart. Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's go on the off-board camera. Let's have a look at Fade. Let's have a look at Chonk. Chonk is right at the rear end of Fade.
Yeah, he's coming. Look at him go.
On fresher tyres, better compound. He will want to take a move into turn one, won't he? Will he be close enough? He doesn't look like he's quite close enough. No, just has to back away there. Can he take a better line through turn 2 and 3 onto the next straight? How is his DRS usage? Let's get the telemetry on. He gets a much better drive out of turn 3 and gets up the inside. That puts him in prime position to go and fight Strugs, but no. Fade battles back around the outside a little bit. Has he left him room? Yeah, no, he's just falling back there. Now Rugriff is next. He's on a pair of soft tyres, so he will have a better run through the S's, you think, and
absolutely
put Fade under pressure.
Fade's going to be under pressure coming into, what corner is that, 14? 12. So I think, but then again, Fade's going to have a lot more pace later in the game when the soft tyre runners will start pitting.
Absolutely. So who is close by on track at the moment? Fence. Very close to the back of Toblerone. Doesn't look like Fence has given that position back to Scullable, so not sure what's happened there, but something to keep an eye on, certainly.
Absolutely.
As Matusas is also on the back of Scullable, so very close racing in the pack. Fade 7/10 down from Chonk. Chonk already a second down from Strugs. Strugs trying to pull out the gap at the front. Strugs showing good race pace here, both on the same tyres, so Chonk will fight to stay within a second of the car in front to get DRS on the lap after. That will be a difficult battle for him, I think. But we have Skull the Bull right behind Fence, trying to get that position back. That was lost under safety car. Is there going to be a move into turn 1? I think it's too far back, but it looks like Toblerone is making a move on Alex Trent G on the soft tyres. Toblerone crisscrossing. There's a little bit of contact at turn 2, and Alex Trent G then leaves us out to Fence. Is he going to lose out to Skull as well? Skull thinks about the move, certainly. He's on the medium tyres, Alex on the hard tyres. Can he go around the outside of turn 4? He's got that done under braking, and Matusas is now trying to make capital of Alex Trent going backwards. If you don't go forwards in racing, you go backwards.
Absolutely.
And Matusas now trying to capitalize on that.
Matusas, this midfield fight right now is actually very, very incredible. Wow, who's that side by side to the S's? Was that Toblerone and Fence?
I think that was Fence and Toblerone, yeah.
Wow, that's a scary place to go side by side.
Yeah, incredibly. And Toblerone just runs a bit wide, gets a 3-second time penalty. Expect few time penalties this weekend. Fence goes up the inside of turn 12.
They're still side by side.
Toblerone sticks in there. Unbelievable. And it's so hard to go side by side through the stadium section. But
how are they doing that?
I think, was Toblerone just off the track there when taking out the
Skull's getting in this fight too. Matusas is there too.
Yeah, what's going on here? Can Skull the Ball?
Wow, look at this. It's anyone's game in T1.
Yeah, he's got the inside. I think Skull the Ball is also almost out of ERS. Fence having the most ERS left. I think Skull the Ball has got the job done into T1. But can Fence come back at him? Just puts a wheel in.
Oh my god. Wow, what a move from Skull. Was that 2-1?
I think that was 2-1 on that straight. I think Fence will try to battle back. Skull really struggling with ERS here. Is there an overtake to be had here? I think he's done enough there. Skullable having good pace here, and Toblerone and Susas battling behind as well. They're going too wide through these turns 4 and 5 and 6.
Wow, they're so close to one another.
Hold off Matusas.
He's done it. Yep, just keeping ahead of Matusas. But is he going to stay ahead in turn 12? That's the question.
Well, he's under pressure from Alex Trent G behind now. So
yeah, I know.
Really, that's the thing with battling through these Estes. You just create a whole another problem for you in defence. If you don't get by, then you will be easy prey for the cars behind you. As McLeod gets past IBN, they're also battling out of the S's. Wow, we have Fade got back in front of Chock at the front.
What a fantastic upper midfield battle we got right here. I mean, this is just insane. I mean, they were bumper to bumper in the T1 last lap. It's 4 of them. They're 3 wide on the straight.
So Matusas, he's going by Toblerone. He's yet to get the move done. I think OS Degrees is... Yeah, he's close behind Rugriff here. Rugriff's starting to suffer on those soft tyres. Chonk not managed to stay with Struggs, actually losing a place to Fade through the battling in the mid-pack. I think Fence is a bit of a cork in a bottle here. And he gets by Skull at T1. He has a lot more EOS here than Skull. Skull's having to spend a bit of time recharging, so I'm sure he'll come back at him once he has that. Alex Trent G just behind Toblerone. He'll be next in line. He's on those hard tyres though. Toblerone should have had a pace advantage, but that will start to square off a bit. I think about 10 laps is the soft lifespan.
Ooh, yellow flag.
Very cut.
That Alpha Integrity?
Yes.
To the hairpin.
He looks like he's going slow, but I don't know if he's lost any positions.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think he was in the same position, but interesting to see what happened there.
Certainly
back up and moving though.
Through the S's. Penalties will come into effect later in this race. Really easy to get penalties on the exit of the S's and through here, I find. Very easy to lose concentration and just drift out wide through there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow, fastest lap for Matusas. Where'd that come from?
121. So he's showing he's got pace.
On mediums,
wanting to
right?
use it. Yeah, on mediums. So OS Degrees and Rugriff, they are battling into turn 1. There's contact between Rugriff and OS. Can Rugriff keep it going the right direction? He can. There was a bit of contact there. I just jumped on board, and Rugriff was slithering like a fish through turn 2. Just managed to keep it facing the right direction. So he's going to be approached by Fence here. He loses about a second.
Someone's off. Someone's off in sector 1.
Yeah, I think that's Toblerone. Toblerone facing the wrong way at the exit of turn 3. So he has dropped well out of that midfield battle now as it starts to settle down a bit. Not quite sure why he's facing the wrong way. His own mistake or a collision with someone else. He was fighting Alex Trent G at the time, so unsure if they've made contact. There's a bit of a gap between Alex. Alex spins.
Oh, Alex!
At the S's.
Maybe he had damage. Maybe they came together.
Yeah, possibly. He's facing the wrong way. Those hards, those S's, not a good mix.
Yeah, those hards don't look like they're working today, unfortunately.
No. Fade's dropping back from Struggs, but at least Fade has a pair of mediums to go on to, right? He has that better tyre to go on to. If you can suffer on the hards until lap 30, 40, 50, something like that, then you've got to put a nice pair of mediums to go on to. I think Fade will be happy with his position at the front. He just doesn't want to fall too far behind, so Struggs gets a free pit stop.
Yeah, I think the mediums are absolutely just the best tire to be on right now. I think the softs are going to be absolutely destroyed and feel it. Probably around now, actually. The soft runners are going to be start feeling it, and the hards are just absolutely god awful, like they usually are at some points. But if you can make them last, you have a benefit coming into the later pit stops.
Oh, so I think Matusas has just got ahead of Fence and Rugriff at turn 1, 2, and 3, and got the move done on the exit of turn 3 there. They were going 3 wide, certainly through the exit of it. I also think Soul Collector has moved up in front of Joker for 12th position. Geordie will be next as they approach the S's. So Geordie will have an attempt to overtake in that middle DRS. And Matusas was retired. Matusas, after getting by Fence and Rugriff, he's retired from the session. That's a full course race. That's a crash at the S's.
Was he spun?
Course yellow. Safety car is out. I'm not unsure if he spun. I just popped away from him. to look at the battle between Geordie and Joker.
There's also
Let's
a
see if anyone decides to
stationary
pit.
Alfa Romeo. Oh no, they're moving again. But something's happened in the back. That's just heartbreak for Matisse. I had him for being quite up there, maybe even a podium for him.
Yeah, he looked like he had to pace, certainly. He had the fastest lap early doors.
Absolutely.
We have Rugriff in the pits. He's decided to take an early pit. He was on a pair of softs and starting to go backwards. And he's gone on to another pair of softs, it looks like. So, liking those softs, liking what they did, hoping he can make some progress through the field. And there's another safety car that he can switch off of those softs onto. Who else is in the pit? Joker, he's off of the tyres he was on. I think he was on a pair of softs, and he's gone to another pair of softs. And
Toblerone from the pit, he has damage. I think he was the spinner that we saw, or I saw on my track map over here.
That would make sense. What tyres does he choose to go on to? It looks like softs at the moment. It's no pair of mediums he's going on to. So,
yep, I think that's probably around the best choice for now.
Yeah, I'm surprised those cars running softs have gone to another pair of softs. Maybe they just feel like they want to save their mediums for later on in the race. Presuming there's going to be more safety cars. We're 11 laps in. This is our second safety car period.
Yeah, what's the weather look like? Are we going to get some rain?
It looks sunny throughout, so I don't think we're going to have any rain.
Simple enough. So, all right, that makes strategy certainly easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Toblerone has gone to a pair of mediums, but he also has a pair of hards left, right? Because I think both of the Alfa Romeos started on softs, but no, because Golden Bull started on mediums. So I'm not sure why Toblerone was on softs, or was he on?
I don't know.
Too?
I feel like he was on softs, but I couldn't. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we have a fantastic midfield battle going on. Chonk and OS seem to be the big winners so far. OS is doing very good for himself. Skull, absolutely just insane. That's insane for him. He's probably the biggest gainer that we've had so far.
He's up 14 positions
in
the first 12 laps.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God,
he's put himself in contention.
Toblerone's crashed.
Toblerone spinned it at the S's. Maybe suffering from some floor damage.
He's out. His wheels off.
Well, that's it. Yeah, so I think he's suffering from some floor damage from maybe an earlier contact that led him to spin.
Yeah, I was just spectating him, just watch him catch up, and he just lost it on what corner is that? Turn 9 in the S's.
So Struggs, I'm not sure what's happened to Struggs here, but he was recovering from. He was in the lead of the race, but he's gone to 5th position here. He was looking like he was recovering from the back of the grid. No, he's still on the 11-lap old mediums. So he has.
So what's happened? Did he slow down?
5 positions. He's now 1 place in front of Skull.
Oh, if you look at his I don't know if you can see, but if you look at his car on the left side, it looks awfully dirty. Like he spawned into the grass.
Possibly, onto the grass. He certainly was on the grass when I came back to viewing him. Maybe recovering from some incident under safety car. But yeah, he does look very dirty, that side of his car. So possibly through the extremities of the track, let's say.
Wow, so he's going to have it all to do then.
Position.
He's got to
fight back.
So we have Fade as the leader.
Here, but Fade is the leader on the pair of hearts on that suboptimal tyre. He's managed to keep it in the lead, and he will safety cars in this lap, so it's a late restart because the back.
I'm going to go on board with Chonk because I think Chonk, if he gets a good run, he might be able to put it into the lead. He's on mediums. And don't discount.
Safety cars just coming to pits now.
And don't discount OS either.
Oh, Fade spun! Fade is spun on the restart. Fade is spun on the restart. That's absolutely tragic. Now, I think he didn't have time to actually heat up his hards, but OS Degrees is now charging up the inside of Chonk. Can he take the lead of the race on lap 13 as the safety car resumes?
No!
Struggs gains a position. Of course, he doesn't. He has to back out of that one. Struggs gains a position from his teammate spinning at the start. I don't think there's any damage between Fade, but he'll be very disappointed with that restart. I think not being able to turn his hard tyres on because he didn't have a real warning of that safety car was in until very, very late. Looked very cold. OS Degrees now battling for Chonk. I don't think there's many other changes other than that. Scholar Ball, of course, up to 5th place. The whole pack up a position after Fade has spun out.
It looks very other than Fade spinning out. I think most of the field has been very, very tame throughout. I think Fence just lost the position to Skull.
Yeah,
they might be side by side.
Fence had a very dodgy exit of turn 6 and lost position to Struggs and Skull.
I think OS might have lagged out.
Has he just left again?
Right, I think he's just.
So he'll be very frustrated that this is a free overtake for Struggs going into the final through the stadium. I think it'll be best just to hang
Yeah,
back.
wow. Side by very, very
Chonk
close
is
to one another.
absolutely pulling a gap here, though. OS is left. I think OS will rejoin and be very frustrated to see that Struggs has taken him as he goes up the inside. Scroll the ball. Will he fancy the move? You do see someone in the air and think, right, I've got to take them now, right? I've got to
Yeah,
take
they're
them
going to
now.
be 3 wide in
agrees.
turn 1.
Oh,
it's awfully close.
So the AI comes back at Scruggs a little bit.
Wow. I think it might be OS because I saw that he joined back.
Okay. Has he rejoined? Has he rejoined? So
that's what it said on my screen at least.
Right, okay. So he's joined the session. He's probably had time to join the car now as it's bouncing up and down. That slow exit from Skull has given Fence the opportunity to take the position back. But Skull and there's a little bit of contact at the braking point. Now Fence tries to stick it in to the corner entry of turn 5. And it'd be interesting to see what happened there. But just a bit of contact at the braking zone between those two. Bit of bumper cars there.
Yeah, I don't know if you're looking at the delta, but the delta between Struggs and Chonk is coming down at an insane rate.
It's every time you look at it, isn't it?
It went down 0.5 of a second in like 3 seconds. I'm not even kidding. It's insane. But he's definitely gonna have. I don't know if DRS
see the pace that Struggs has here. Pace that Struggs has. He's made a mistake under safety car and he's coming back through. Can he retake the position on the straight?
He's already made his mistake in this race. He's paid the price. I don't think he has any intention of making any more mistakes. He's got his head down, and he'll be someone to watch for the race win.
If you look at the ERS usage, Chonk has a lot more ERS in his bank than Struggs. So maybe Chonk just knowing that Struggs can't overtake me on the through the S's, he can't overtake me through the corners. I'm going to save all my ERS for as long as possible on the straights. As we have Mr. Baggery, he's going slowly. I think he's spun out the final corner because that was a yellow flag. Fade in 14th position. He'll be very disappointed with that.
OS falling back from the lead, though. He was right up there.
Yeah, he was right up there. I think he was battling for the lead of the race, but I don't think he quite has the pace of those two front runners.
Wow.
Chonk knowing where to use his battery and only 83% charge. Let's see how quickly Struggs can actually dispatch Chonk here, but certainly has a lot better line through the S's.
Wow,
so much more
bumper to bumper through the S's. Oh, it's
and he'll try and
NASCAR.
launch one out of here. Will he have DRS? He does have DRS. Can Chonk do anything? I think Struggs realises it's better just to
get it.
Leave that one be, but the full course yellow comes out.
Wow,
after
who's that for?
An instant between McLeod and Captain Fox leads them out the race at the S's. 2 DNFs there. And we have a safety car here. Will anyone decide for another pair to pit? I don't think they do. Chonk is quite happy with that. He leads for another few laps.
That's McLeod and Fox, isn't it?
McLeod and Fox are out the race at the S's.
Wow.
Unsure what happened
in there.
So Toblerone saying that he had the yellow floor and the yellow rear ring, so that's why he was struggling so much. I think probably from that initial contact where he went backwards through the pack, he was in that mid-pack fight, wasn't he, in the opening 5 laps, and went backwards. So you can presume he picked up damage there, and S's is no fun.
Absolutely not with damage, especially it can be.
So we have 14 cars left in with only 16 laps spent. So we've had quite a high attrition rate so far through those S's.
Hey, we're only 16 laps in. We're not even like a third of the way through.
It feels balmy, doesn't it? It feels like the positions have changed so many times.
Absolutely.
Of course, we had Struggs leading the race early doors. Fade leading the race after a moment from Struggs on the safety car, but Fade didn't lead the race for more than a lap, did he? Because he binned it on the exit of turn 17.
It is heartbreak for him.
Chonk has led since then. Matusas out early doors as well, and he seemed like he had a lot of pace too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we know that Fade has pace, and he's down in P11. So I think he's one of the people we should watch out for the rest of the race. Imagine if he doesn't make any more mistakes, keeps his head down, he might be one to look for on the podium, maybe even top 5.
Absolutely. He'll have a lot of work to do. Certainly on those hard tyres, they aren't as quick as the tyres that he's around. So, although he certainly has a pace advantage through skill, the other cars have a bit of a pace advantage through the tyre compounds. 2 cars ahead, they are on hard, so he should be able to dispatch them fairly quickly. But the medium runners and the soft runners ahead, they'll be slow to catch up, but it will give him an advantage during the back end of the race when he can go onto a medium pair of tyres and hopefully carve up the pack. The recovery is certainly still on for Fade.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised Chonk is doing very well in the lead. I mean, he was leading for quite a bit. I mean, that gap was coming down quite substantially. I think he got a little bit lucky with the yellow flags. But if he can outlast Struggs on tires or preserve his ERS, he might be able to keep the lead for quite a while if he maintains those two things.
Okay, so Strug saying he lost his positions under safety car due to the controller disconnecting and destroying him. So his controller disconnected and decided to go off the track. That's always fun.
That is
Chonk on
fun.
Twitch says I had damage from that one. That's why I'm so slow. Well, you are in first position, so no need to brag.
Yeah.
Toblerone, yeah. So
Slow.
still in first position, right? Okay, so slow, but he obviously is struggling through those technical sectors, certainly compared to Struggs. But knowing where to keep his charge and using it up on the straights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's crucial to staying ahead in Mexico. I mean, as long as you can get through those two DRS zones, I think it's actually 3. But if you can survive those, you can survive the rest of the track.
So Matusa's saying, I had a very weird and unfortunate spin right after the double overtake. So we saw the back end of the double overtake on Fence and Rugriff as they battled each other. I think you capitalised on that, Matusas, but we just stepped away from the spin. So it's unfortunate. Hero to 0, really, but I'm sure you'll be back stronger the next race weekend.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it won't be in this lap. I feel very sorry for Fade with the last safety car restart, because he was told about here when he was going to be restarting the race. So he barely had any straight to do the weaving and warm up the hard tyres.
Yeah.
So I do feel incredibly sorry for the positioning when the safety car said it was coming in. Like, you saw the safety car still peeling into pits as the race was resuming.
Yeah,
and you got a good angle of that because Fade span to look at it. But I did feel incredibly sorry for where that safety car restarted for him there. Really hard to turn on those hard tyres at safety car restarts when you have all of the kind of notice in the world. But it's that weird kind of mechanic in the game where it's like, if the safety car is not past the pit, then the safety car can still come in. But actually, it doesn't give people enough time. They wouldn't do that in real life, would they? Except for maybe Abu Dhabi 2021. But,
yeah, I mean, I found the safety car restarts in F121, especially when you're leading. I found that difficult, and that would always tell you, like, pretty much towards the end of the second sector. And I always found that wasn't really enough time to prepare. I mean, you can always take a guess by looking at the how bunched up the grid is, but you never really know for sure until those last few seconds.
I think what's so hard in 2021 as well is that you were limited so much. This limit is still in this game, but the limiter in 2021 was just insane.
I know. You can't go anywhere. You step on the gas is nothing.
And there was a period where any contact in the safety car would be a 5-second penalty to both cars. And it would you'd be leading the race, you'd be limited, and the car behind would be caught out by this, crash into the back of you, and you get a 5-second penalty. I've gone from leading this race to having a 5-second penalty in nothing. But we have safety car in this lap.
All right, who are you keeping your eye on for this restart?
So I'll watch Chonk until the actual race restart, just to make sure that he sticks to one clear.
Strikes just got a 5-second penalty.
So he must have made contact with another car there, or maybe a dodgy overtake thing. We'll see what that is at the end of the race. But Chonk goes for one single movement to start the race again. So watching Struggs, Chonk pulls right off to the right-hand side to avoid the slipstream.
Pretty good getaway from Chonk, I will say.
Yeah, so he'll be good on the straights, but with that damage that he's carrying on his car, he will be struggling. OS Degrees, he's going to try and stay up with
two AlphaTauris fighting in the back. I think IBN, I guess, just came out in front.
Ben.
Ben.
His name's Ben. That's
I get it.
That makes it easier.
I think he just came out on top, but they're still going. But OS and Strugs going at it.
Yeah. OS and Strugs. So OS has got past.
OS coming out on top. Good for him. But now Strugs is going to be under pressure from Skull.
He's right on his bumper. Does he have damage? OS helping out Chonk in a race. You never thought you'd see it with that Ferrari Mercedes battle they had.
Wow!
Stole a ball.
Oh wow! That was brave.
That was brave. So I think he was up the inside there, stole a ball. Of course, they had a bit of collisions at last weekend's race, these two. So maybe a bit of afters, but it was a very brave move up the inside into the S's, turn 7. Bit of contact. Maybe Strux has got an issue here because he is falling backwards here, isn't he?
Yeah, I see that. I think he has damage. Maybe a floor damage, side
Maybe
pod damage.
that's what maybe a 5 second time penalty was because he got wing damage
Oh,
crashing into the back of Chonk under safety car
that might be it.
at the limiter, right? Okay,
Yeah,
with
his
the
front
limiter.
wing looks fine. Or at least from my perspective, but it might be off from the spectator point of view.
So OS Degrees, Chonk weaving to the right, weaving back to the left to take his racing line, and
wow, this is going to be a good battle.
OS Degrees at arm's length. What can OS Degrees do here? Can he take the lead of the race? Oh, very, very tardy on the exit of turn 3. Almost dropped it.
Very, very close.
We have IBM. He's close behind Fence 2. So Rugriff, he's got past Soul Collector. Hasn't got the job done.
The AlphaTaurs are still fighting. Fence has got back in front of Ben. Ben was in front.
Rugriff in front of Soul Collector on those softs. OS Degrees very close to the back of Chonk, but Strugs, all the pace in the world. Previously, in that previous kind of
what's happened to him?
Laps, he must be carrying some damage.
Yellow flag. Someone spun.
Oh my god! In the chat, so there is a spinner. It is out of integral, I believe. But OS Degrees is going around the outside. So looking into turn 12, OS Degrees looks at it. Chonk running very wide. This is bringing Strugs back into the battle. He's now right behind OS Degrees. And Chonk, they're battling like nutters at the front.
And don't discount Skull out of this either. I mean, this is a 4-way battle into T1, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's ride on board with Skull. That's probably going to be the best view here. You see Chonk go off to the right. OS Degrees follows him. Strugs thinks nothing of it, actually, and thinks, I'm not going to waste my time going over there. I'll pick up the slipstream when you go back to the left. And OS Degrees, it's not close enough through here, but can Strugs pick up any of the pieces between these two? Skull's right there too. It really is close
between the four of them.
Less than 2 seconds separates all of the drivers here for the top 4 positions. Strugs with a 5-second penalty, and we think we're carrying a little bit of damage. Chonk also carrying a bit of damage. But OS Degrees.
If I may point out one thing, I just noticed that OS has 6% ERS usage, but Chonk in the lead has 78% to defend his lead with.
Chonk can be absolutely mega on EOS usage. He get really, really that. OS Degrees has used everything to get by and gambled it. And now, Strugs behind, he has 40% EOS. He certainly is in the clutches. OS will need to stay on the DOS and use it to defend.
Wow. Very close between OS and Strugs. I thought he was going to make a move there in turn 12. I think with the DRS, OS might have to watch out on the straight because I don't think he has enough ERS to get past Chonk and not enough ERS to defend from Strugs. If Strugs gets a good exit out of here.
I think they could be going 3 wide into turn 1 here. I think DRS will be kind of countered by the EOS of Chonk.
Big move from Chonk.
Big move, jink to the left, and is OS close enough?
Strugs.
He seems to not have the top end, but he's out of the OS. He's flipping at the end of the straight. And can he get close enough? No, but Strugs is right there with him. It could be a bit of a DRS train there, a bit of a truly train.
It's so close between the top 4. It's insane. It's like what we saw in Austria this year in real life, pretty much. Or actually in Monaco even.
Toe to toe, these top 4 cars.
I mean, yeah,
Chonk has done enough. That EOS usage is just legendary from Chonk here. It's really keeping him in the mix.
I think that's the reason he's keeping ahead of OS in these guys. And I'd just like to say, out of the top 4, I mean, we got a 5-6 second gap between 4th and 5th. I think Rugriff just got ahead of Ben. But I mean, these top 4 are just like in a league of their own right now. Look how close they are together.
At some point. Fence is down into 13th position, but yeah, the lead here, they are so close together. Can OS make a move into turn 12? Oh, the thing about going too wide, Strugs. Oh, can he? Being hung out to dry there on the outside. Does he get the move done? Yes, but it's going to leave him so... Oh, and there's a bit of contact from Strugs on Chonk at the corner entry. OS Degrees decides to give the place back to Chonk, believing he's got the job done. Really terrible. Should have done it on the straight, but I think he wanted DRS.
But now he's going to have DRS, though.
Even get DRS from it? I don't think he does.
Oh, that's just brutal for OS.
Has DRS here, so he's really hurt himself here. He's going to be down to 4th position. Meanwhile, Skull is up to 2nd. He's capitalising it all. There was a bit of contact between Strugs and Chonk. That made Strugs have a tardy exit of turn 15 all the way to turn 1, and that's cost him. Skull the Bull now in prime position to take the lead of the race. Obviously, Skull the Bull has a penalty, a 3-second penalty. But Strugs isn't done yet, is he? Strugs is not done yet. And they're going wheel to wheel into turn 4. Who gets this done? Oh my
sticking
Lord,
Strugs, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Very, very close, but OS is coming back at him too.
About the inside. Oh my lord.
Oh my word. This is insane. This is insanity, quite frankly.
So,
this is fantastic racing.
Just lost out on that lap. Yeah, very good racing. I think on a bound, OS Degrees caved the place back to Chonk there, but decided to do it in a really bad place. But he'd already lost DRS, so probably better just to give him the place back a bit on the straight, I reckon. But
yeah, absolutely. But he's still in this. He's still with the top 4 group. I mean, he's going to have DRS off of Strugs, who will get it off Skull, who will get it off Chonk. So Chonk's going to have to defend.
He's only has a bit more EOS now. They've all used a bit of EOS. Only Chonk.
Chonk's still 75%. He could just defend the whole race with that. That's exactly what he's doing. You can see him use it now.
I think this is his plan. Strugs, and I think these cars behind have to recognise that they need to recharge their EOS here. Like, Skull's clipping at the end of the straight. Strugs is close to clipping. And OS Degrees has built a bit of charge. He was clipping on the previous straights. So clipping is when you get to the end of your battery life and you have nothing more to give on the end of the straight.
Yes. Wow, they're very close together. OS is falling a little bit farther back, but Strugs is looking very on the inside of Skull. Oh my gosh. It's a brave move into 4, but he's got it done. Very, very bold move there, around the outside.
So Strugs up into second position now. Now can he take the position off Chonk? They were fighting before the safety car. They've been close as nails, haven't they? They've been.
Can he get himself back into the lead? That would be a recovery drive. Within 20.
That would be. He's still got that 5 seconds to serve. Will he want to take a position here? You saw him back off before the safety car. That actually cost him the position overall. And I think he's waiting for the DRS straight, but going very late on the brakes compared to Chonk.
Wow, they're close together. That camera angle on the curve, that's incredible, especially when they're all close together like that.
It's a great angle. Absolutely great angle. And we have Strugs now lining up Chonk. He has a bit of EOS, but Chonk has buckets of EOS to defend. So, can he get
does he have enough?
Skull and OS are really close behind, but can Strugs get the job done? He goes to the inside of T1. How does this battle play out through these corners? Strugs goes very deep. Chonk tries to cut under and to line himself up for the over the corners, but he gets a bit tardy on the exit and he loses traction, and now he'll be open to OS Degrees, who I think has got past Skull. Just behind. Can he make 2 positions in 4 corners? I don't think he can. Can he stick it around the outside? It's dangerous to leave yourself in there. He does keep himself in there, but he does fall behind. That's allowing Strugs to run off of it a bit. With that damage that he's picked up from safety car, well, we presume it's a damage, right? Because he didn't seem to have the pace.
Like he had damage.
He's running away with it now. I think Chonk has let Strugs go, right?
Yeah, the weird thing is it seemed like he had damage at one point, but now he seems like he doesn't.
We spoke in the safety car period about Fade coming up through the pack, and he is up 6th position, and he's on the back of Strugs at the moment. And
West into
contact.
West into P2. Very close between. Wow, look at this. To the stadium. Someone's
my lord, there's contact. Yeah, so there's Mr. Borbagri spun, and I think IBN also spun at the S's. Is there any damage there? I think they both can rejoin, but they were very, very close, and Chonk has decided to pit. Maybe he's got a new front wing coming. He's going onto the hard tyre, so he'll be hoping to go to the end and maybe ditch and want to go into a pair of softs later on. But OS Degrees now has the DRS. No, he doesn't have the DRS. So Strugs has a 3-second lead after like 1 lap, 2 laps.
I know, it's just incredible.
Shows how much he was being slowed down by that pack, but I think Skull Bull will try to get past OS Degrees here.
This battle between OS and Skull is going to be the one to watch for the next few laps. In the background, I would like to say Fade is up into 4th.
Yes, so Fade has made that positions up, but Rugos is back ahead in front, trying to keep it up the inside of turn 5. Does he do it? He does, but just falls behind. That leaves him open to Soul Collector. There is a spin from IBN at the end of exit of turn 3. So the yellow flag's out, but the green flag's out now again. So no safety car required for that, we presume. As Fade has made progress there, and I think he's got that job done. I think, will he have DRS regrowth? He does have DRS, but I feel like that's job done there. But Skull,
I think so too,
has a little bit more EOS than OS.
And Fade just has it all to do now. He's going to chase down Skull.
Skull starting from the back row of the grid, plumb last. He's battling in 3rd position.
What a result this would be if he can keep it together.
So he has the DRS. It's this really strange one because you're so high up, the actual slipstream effect is really kind of cancelled out by how thin the air is.
Very, very little.
So even with the DRS, Chonk really held off those cars for a long time just by having more ERS.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where he comes back into the field once everyone else makes their pit stops. Wow,
so
Skull.
It's lap 27. We have Struggs from OS, from Skull. What were you going to say about Skull, Soda?
Yes, Skull's still holding on to the back of OS. This is a fantastic little battle here. He's getting very, very close. I think he's only 5 tenths behind. He was 3 tenths in the turn 4. He'll definitely be one to watch. I think they're both about even on pace, so if he can get DRS down the straight, he's 8 tenths now. Hopefully he can get it at the detection line. He'll be one to watch for the P2 and P3 positions.
Yeah, Fade is closing in on them a little bit, but it's 3.5 tenths down on this battle for second place at the moment. But can he close that gap as these two battle? I think it's settled down now. It's not a 4-way fight anymore. But Skull's certainly hanging on as there's a spin from IBN again at the back. I think he must be suffering from damage. As soon as you have a bit of floor damage or something, you just
absolutely,
light it up
especially into those
S's.
S's.
It's really unsettling, isn't it? So Alpha Integral, he's back up to 7th place. He's gone up and down this.
Yeah, he's been all over the grid.
Stock exchange, hasn't he? He's been absolutely in the wars. But 6 seconds of penalties, that's okay at this stage, I believe.
Yeah, 6 seconds. That's not bad in a Syndicate Racing League race. 6 seconds isn't much.
Geordie has 17 seconds, so he's the most. He's certainly
that's about more
with
where I expected
it
to be. That's usually what people end up at.
The cars that don't have any penalties so far: OS, Fence, Alex, Joker, and it is good to have no penalty. Well, Struggs will serve that 5-second penalty at his pit stop, right?
Yeah, that's going to cost him.
OS does run a little bit wide there. You expect that to be a bit of a warning. And Scullable, you feel like he's just clinging in behind there, but oh, and there we are. He did get a warning there.
Yeah, I think Struggs' 5-second penalty, that's going to cost him though, because when Chunk comes back into the race, I don't think he served a 5-second penalty in his pit stop, so he's going to might have a little bit of time gained on Struggs.
That's presuming Chonk has a pace advantage over Struggs at the moment. I'm unsure what their lap times are. But yeah, certainly he'll have to serve it, so he should get out in front of OS if they both pitted now.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what
closing down on OS.
Yeah, this is still they're still very close together this whole time. I'm surprised OS is managing to stay in front. I don't know what their ERS is about the same, so it's very, very good battle so far between these two.
So the Scarlet Ferrari in second place leads from the sister Alfa Romeo with the red Italian flag colours on the back of the wing there. Really, really good racing between these two. Between 4 the runners, actually, between Struggs, OS, Skull and Chonk. And settled down into a bit of a 2-horse race between Skull and OS for the second place position. And I feel like Skull does have the pace, he just doesn't have the front straight line pace, because he seems to close up through the middle sector of the track, but just doesn't have the straight line speed. And just behind the Williams of Fade, who spun out from the lead of the race on the safety car restart.
Is that Kevin?
I think that's Kevin. That is Kevin. That's a safety car. That is a full course safety car. So this will be interesting. It's lap 30.
A safety.
I see a few of our runners. Yeah,
it's a safety car, but he's still moving.
Yeah. So that, I don't know if you've been watching, that happens sometimes if there's a little bit of debris on the track, they can get really overzealous with the safety cars. So I think second race of the year, where were we? Hungary, and then we did Canada. I think at Canada, I feel like we hit the soft limit for safety cars, because there were some seriously big incidents in the final 25 laps of the race that had no safety car. But we had so many safety cars in the opening 40 laps, it was insane. Geordie has retired from the session. He was in the Haas this weekend, and he's retired from the session in the pits, so having to leave the game. and doing the right thing by retiring the pits.
No, that's Kevin in the pits, isn't it? I think that Jordy just retired on the side of the road.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, because I was spectating Kevin.
Yeah, you're right. You are
What's
right.
happened to him?
Has
he crashed?
Maybe he's had a crash on the exit of turn 3 under safety car, maybe into the safety car, right?
Oh yeah,
the safety car was very close by. He could have crashed into the safety car.
It might have been. And
Chonk saying they didn't fix his wing when he pitted, so he still got the wing damage. So is Chonk going to pit again? Who has pitted? Is probably the
one thing I did just notice is that OS has a drive-through penalty for speeding.
Oh, so OS has just got a Delta penalty then. You must.
Yes, that's going to cost him for him. I was looking at him for a podium, but who knows? He'll have a lot to now.
So Fade took the race lead after his teammate Struggs pitted from the lead of the race. OS Degrees is also pitted, but you're right, he has a Delta drive-through penalty now. So does Kev. He's also missed his Delta. Scholar Bull, he doesn't have a Delta pipe penalty, but it would be very frustrated OS Degrees with that because it actually gave him the lead of the race as well through the pits there because of the 5-second penalty from Struggs that was served under safety car.
Absolutely. And Fade is in the lead of the race, but he's still on 30 lap old hards. OS and Struggs behind him. Actually, most people behind him are on very, very low lap hards. So
I guess if there's no safety cars to the end here, then Fade's in big trouble.
Yes, absolutely.
But if there's another safety car in, say, 10 laps time, he can put on the mediums there and know that he can go that long on a pair of mediums. So I expect there to be at least one more safety car here, right? There's 13 runners. We've seen some runners really struggle through those S's.
Mm-hmm.
Kev, IBN, who are still in the race, have spun through there multiple times. So Chonk down in 12th. He'll be very frustrated. I think, has he pitted again? No, I think he's still on the same halves because he said they did not fix the wing damage at the stop.
Yep,
so he's still carrying that damage.
Yeah, he's still on 4 lap old hards, which would line up for that. No, actually. I'm interested to see how he comes back to the field, or if once the pit stops are fully over, let's see what position he'll be in. But I think he's had some pretty bad luck.
OS had a Delta hood issue, so he didn't actually get his hood shown on his with the safety car hood. Have you ever had this glitch where it just doesn't show safety car in this lap, or it doesn't show the Delta?
No,
and then you just kind of have to guess for the cars behind. Yeah, it's really, really painful.
That might be a F122 problem, I imagine.
Right, okay. So OS, fell foul of that. That's why he's got his Delta penalty. Let's have a look at the penalties while we are at it. So Fade in the lead with a 3-second penalty. OS, he's in second place. He's going to be taking a drive through pretty early on though. After the safety car restart, Struggs, he's in third. But he'll move up to second very quickly. He's got no penalties. Fence has no penalties. Alex and Joker also have no penalties. Kev has a drive-through. He'll have to take that after the safety car period. I think everyone is on the lead lap of the race here, right?
I think so, yeah.
Which is quite good for such a short circuit.
Yeah, so we'll be waiting. Looks like it looking at the track map.
We could be waiting another couple of laps for the safety car to bunch up here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it went now. We've only got 3 stragglers near the back, but the game might not like that. It might just have them do another lap. Hopefully they can catch up.
So Strug saying I've had that glitch. It killed my race at Silverstone in 2021. So nice to see that Cody's fixed their issues through the game generations. Oh, it's balming. We're not even at half race distance, you know? We've only had half races. How are you finding it? How are you finding the commentating lot?
I think it's a lot of fun, actually. Thank you again for having me. It's a good way to get close to the racing. I can't really race anymore since I only have like a few hours left on my F122 trial. I haven't actually bought it, but it's been good fun. And you've found it certainly suits you. You've been doing great.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. I watched Fishing for Compliments. That's of course what I was doing. No, but it's been great to have you on board, man. Really, really a pleasure to have you in the booth, offering a lot of insight to this race and helping me fill dead air when I have to do something else as well.
Thank you very much.
Mega appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been good fun, but I think
it's going around one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't see a reason that it won't be in this lap.
I agree. I think it will be in this lap.
It's got to come in.
Do you miss the racing?
I do miss the racing. I tried driving on F122, but it was like right when the game came out and I got my trial, and I just really hated how the cars felt. But I think they've changed now. They've changed force feedback and stuff.
Yeah, they changed force feedback.
Yeah,
so it's slightly better, but they made the cars handle even worse.
So much different than F121.
Yeah.
And I think if I was racing now, I wouldn't be as nearly or even competitive, I don't think. So, but I do miss the racing a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's a shame to not have you in week out, winning week in, week out, putting in good performances. I think you would be battling with Struggs and Fade at the front. I really do.
I don't know. I remember I raced Struggs a few times in 21, and he has some, and Fade too. They're some fast drivers. They're insane.
So, safety car is coming in this lap. All the cars are together. Can Fade do a better restart this time round? Had longer to recharge the tyres. Is it one clean?
Ooh, almost contact between him and OS. Very close.
Yeah. So, slowing down, but there we are. One clean positional retake, but he leaves himself really open.
Very vulnerable.
To attack.
Very vulnerable.
And OS is going for
3 wide in the back.
even though he's got a service delta. Who is going 3 wide?
Wow, I think that was Skull
and
yeah. I think so, yeah. Wow, that was good.
So
Skull barely maintaining that place. Fighting tooth and nail with Fence behind him.
Oh, and there is contact. Who knows? Fade is... Will there be a bit of team orders from Fade and Struggs?
Who knows?
I don't think so.
We really don't know.
Lord, Soul Collector is absolutely rifled into the wall. That's collected Rugriff and had a secondary effect. And surely Alpha Integrals had to have a 10-second corner cutting penalty for avoiding it. Skull Ball was in the wall. The Skull Ball was in the wall.
Alpha Integrity spun.
We should surely be in a safety car for that. The Soul Collector was absolutely smashed into the wall.
What happened?
At the entry of turn 4. I'm not sure who the contact was with, but there was a lot of contact, presumably, as Soul Collector hit the inside wall. But unbelievably, there's no safety car for that. So that's going to really hurt Skull the Ball, who'd been running supremely well. Alpha Integral has a 10-second penalty for corner cutting because I think he tried to avoid that incident and just dart
just spun. Wow, this midfield is insanely close.
Fade takes the lead of the race again as OS Degrees goes into pits to serve his penalty. Alpha Integral trying to make places up, and he does make a place on... I think someone else pitted there, right? Okay, Rugriff is pitted.
Yep.
OS Degrees, yeah. Rugriff was collected by Soul Collector.
Skull's pitting too. Heartbreak for Skull, man. He was doing so good. Very, very well.
Skull was missing a front wing. So he's going to have a front wing change. What tyres he go on to? I think a pair of softs. Really is his only option. Rugriff's going on
can
to
he make that last, though? That's half race distance. I doubt it.
On the bare mediums?
On the,
I would say maybe.
Yeah.
The softs, no.
Absolutely not on the south. He's going to have to stop again. But I just I was spectating OS, actually, and I just saw in the back, turn 6 at Double Apex Hairpin. I think one of the McLarens spun right after Soul was destroyed into the wall. So I think that was Alpha Integrity. He's managed to keep P4, but I think Alex Trent has got in front of him.
Right, okay. Yeah. So, wonder if there's any team wars between this. Alpha Integral's had a lot of pace, but he's just been all over the place, and he has that penalty.
You can have all the pace in the world in racing, but what matters is consistency at the end of the day. That's probably the most important part.
I absolutely agree with that. I think if you struggle with consistency, you're just not going to get results week in, week out. And I think that's where you put me and OS to shame, really. Your consistency is just
that was my main...
Always there.
That was my main pillar. And I'd just like to say, there was definitely team orders in the front too. Struggs is back into the lead. Fade just pulled out and let him pass in the main straight. So they are
I think that's understandable with the age of their tyres and the gap that they both have on the field. Maybe Fade can use Struggs to help create a gap and maybe make his work a lot less harder when he pits. I think it's about a 20-second time loss through the pits at this race. He could probably pull a gap, and I think if he pit now, he'd be looking at 10th position. But, Struggs has absolutely dropped him, so there's no way he's staying in DRS range. Strug's
Strux is
quite
gone.
protected here. There's no love lost between those two.
No, absolutely not.
he's off.
So thank you very much.
He's building
Goodbye.
that gap. Absolutely.
Wow, there's a humongous gap between second and third. That's quite remarkable. I'll look at it. I don't know what it is, but it's just humongous. You can see them. They're almost at the end of the straight. That short little straight in the end of sector 2.
Yeah, that is a really big gap for Williams to pull already. And you can see Strug's pulling a really, really big gap on Fade
Already?
and fastest lap of the race.
2 seconds in 1 lap.
And I think what's happened there is that Fade has given the DRS to Strugs, and Strugs has used that DRS to set the fastest lap time as well, going after those purple penalty points. And I wonder if Strugs will now back off and allow Fade to get DRS to help him out later in the race. Obviously, Strugs has the pace here to hold off the cars around him. There's no one quite with him. Skull the Bulls at the back of the grid. OS Degrees also, he's gone down after his drive-through penalty for not following Delta due to a glitch. So I don't think he's backing off though.
Wow, fastest lap.
Skull took the fastest lap. So that lasted all of
from last. Wow. But I just don't see Skull being able to recover. I mean, if you look at the track map, he's very, very far behind. Unfortunately, as it is. He's almost 2 sectors behind. Yes.
So Soul Collector is saying that Skull had contact with Soul, and that's what ended their race. So that would make sense that Skull's moved backwards.
Okay, so he might have damage from that. Or he might have had damage at some point. Well, actually, we saw him hit after the incident.
Strug saying it's sad we couldn't race this year, would you?
Thank you, Strugs. It's very nice of you.
And Soul Collector has a petition to get me a sports jacket, which I don't think anyone wants to see. So,
absolutely.
Lap 38. Where do you see the battle coming from here? the McLarens are close, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the only thing I was looking at right now. The 2 McLarens between the two. I think they've switched places actually recently.
Yes.
But they're still very close to one another. If I can find them on the spectator menu.
I think the 16-second penalty that Alpha Integral has, I think you could probably serve 10 seconds of that on each pit. Can you serve a 10-second penalty? Can you serve 5 seconds of that 10 seconds? I think you have to serve it in 5 seconds, right? But Maybe. It was a 10-second penalty, so I don't know if he'll actually be able to serve that penalty.
Right, I don't know. That might just come into play in the end results. You might have to wait until then.
Ooh, but he spun it on the S's.
Yeah,
I think he
that was
beached
Alpha
his car
again.
really.
Hopefully no one collects him.
And he grinded that curb. He does a good job getting out of the way of the other cars as he recovers. But Alex Trent G having a good race in the McLaren here.
Yeah, very good for him. P4 has no penalties. He might, if he can get close enough, he might be able to steal a spot from Fade when he serves his 6-second penalty.
And those AlphaTauris really have been not really anywhere in the race, right? They're battling with each other for a bit.
Yeah.
But Fence is in third. IBN is in fifth. IBN with a lot of penalties, that said. So not really in fifth position.
Yeah, they've basically come out of nowhere. I think they've been some of the biggest gainers on the retirements of this race. They've been just keeping it kind of clean. I think we've seen some contact between them before, but they've been doing pretty good. Wow, Alpha Integri's out. Oh, he just retired in the pit. Okay.
He's just retiring the pit, so maybe suffering some damage or realising that penalty's not going to get him anywhere.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of damage. He was showing like he had a lack of pace, at least for the last few laps, if that makes sense.
Right, okay. That would make sense. He spun out kind of straddling the curb, which is something you can do, bottom out on the curbs, especially through those S's. And it just lost traction for him. So we have 11 runners left in the race.
I don't know what it is actually, but I don't think he actually retired in the pits. I think his AI is still moving to the location because I can see him on the track map. He's moving. He's in right before he's sector 1.
That's what happens when you retire in the pits. Is most of the time they just come back out again and then they retire on the street on the track.
Okay.
So they can actually get in the way massively. Like at Silverstone for me, I think Feline retired in the pits, but then he came out at the entry of the loop into Village, and just crossed the racing line right in front of me. I was like, I appreciate that as I'm leading the race and I think I was trying to hold off you at the time in the wet conditions.
And there he is, side of the road.
There
he's gone now.
And he's gone. So doesn't cause any issues. Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know what to say about the retiring of the pitch. Retiring of the pitch says you're trying to do the right thing, but sometimes the AI absolutely does the wrong thing anyway.
Yeah, I've been lucky though. My retirements have always been very spectacular and usually taking other people with me. My few retirements in the last season, not intentionally, of course, but they've been bad.
Yeah, I had 1 or 2 retirements. I think one was at Zandvoort, which OS Degree spun out in front of me.
That was a chaotic race.
The worlds collided. That was really chaotic. And then Japan, I was in a really good position, and I just flew one into the back of AJ, not looking at the delta. AJ slowed down to keep the delta, and I just full on drove into the back of him. It was not top bins. That actually took me out of championship contention completely.
Oh yeah,
I was too many points behind.
About that, yeah.
But,
I think the one of my biggest incidents was at Baku. I lost it coming out of. So you go up to the castle section, you pick up slow left-hander, and then there's those really fast 2 left-handers. I lost it on one of them for literally no reason. I was having a terrible race at the time anyway. I hit the wall, retired, and then Louis came around the corner and hit me going like 165 miles an hour. And just absolutely destroyed him. Like my car went flying.
IBN has just got past Alex Trent into T1.
Wow, 3 and 4 for the
very far off the track. Yeah, very good race. He has the double DRS, of course, so Alex will find it hard to fight back. That Baku race, I felt very terrible for Lou, because I was like, "Oh, Z-Man spun off," and then
he got destroyed. It was so bad.
Like you were on the racing line.
Yeah,
like, around a really quick corner. I could have gone, Lou, watch out at that corner. He's
like literally a complete blind corner. He's coming around. I was sitting right there. I was like, man, this is a bad spot to crash. Yeah, but that was a bad race for me in all. I think that was my worst weekend. I don't know. I think I just switched to doing medium traction control, and Baku was like one of the worst tracks to like learn to do that at. And I was just struggling the whole time. That's how I lost it actually. I just started spinning the wheels and I just ran into the left wall.
So Rugriff from Kev from Skull.
Yeah, I was looking at that actually. They're very close in the back.
Yeah, it's a battle for 9th position.
He's lost it. I think Rugriff has lost it. He's in the wall.
Rugriff's lost it. Into the wall.
Just tapped the wall.
He's still in the race.
He just tapped the wall with his wing. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully he doesn't have any damage. He's still going. It's very quick recovery.
Gets the position into the DRS zone that leads into turn 12. So Skull will be trying to fight back. I think he'll be hoping for a safety car at this point.
Yep, I think Kev might have DRS coming down the straight. Maybe? Well, Skull's got it.
Does, but he's quite far back, isn't he, already?
Yes, but that will definitely keep him in contention for a little bit. But he doesn't have that much ERS either, though. That's the problem. But they both don't, so it doesn't really matter that much.
Can Kev do anything here, actually? Yeah, he's closed that 5 tenths on that straight, on that very long straight. But I don't think he's going to... He certainly didn't have the traction out of turn 3 to launch the assault into turn 4.
Yeah.
And he's still 5 tenths down. You expect Skull to just drift away here. And a bit of a spin from Kev too on the exit of turn 5.
Yep, just spun the wheels with those hards.
Alex Trent G has got a penalty for corner cutting, so there's only 3 drivers, Struggs, Fence and Joker, who don't have penalties. Alex doesn't have DRS on IBN, but does have a hell of a lot of ERS. IBN has no ERS, it's clipping at the end straight, and Alex has 65%, right? And he's just losing about 25%, so that's a hell of a lot. But no DRS at the moment. Alex obviously wants to get by IBN and try and close out that gap for Fence for 3rd position on the track. Fade slowly falling backwards, but I think Fade could probably pit now and go 8th, right? So
that's where I would put him. I think he could make a comeback through the field if he had fresh tires. So I think he'd do alright if he pit now.
I think he's probably just goal hanging for a safety car at this point, right?
Yeah, I think the longer you wait, I think you might as well just pit now if you're gonna go to mediums. It depends on if you're going mediums or softs. But that's just my opinion. I have no idea what the tire wear looks like though. So
yeah, I think the softs. What's that? That's 25 laps?
Maybe, yeah. Roughly.
I think the softs would be rough at the end of that. I think they'd be really
Yeah,
rough.
I think if you were going to box your mediums not quick around here, this would be the time to do it. But the longer you wait, the more you want to look into switching to softs. If you have any, though, that's the problem.
I think Fade will have a pair of softs. He started on these hards. So we can look at the stops.
Wait, is he still the same pair of softs? The same pair of hards?
He's yet to stop. Struggs has had one stop, Fence has had one stop, and OS has also had one stop in 7th position, but if he can pit for
softs, he might do very, very well coming through the field.
I absolutely agree. I think that could be very exciting if he does.
Absolutely, it could be.
If he so Struggs won't have a pair of mediums to go onto. If there was a safety car right now, you'd expect Fade to pick for mediums. Struggs would have to think about it, right? Because if he stayed on that pair of hards, then you'd expect Fade to catch up with him.
Yeah. I think if Fade, I know he has the pace. I think he could very well catch up to first. He pit. But it seems very tame throughout the order now. Not much going on. Our bet very close to Alex. Are probably the two closest drivers to one another, and then not much else happening.
Yeah, similar lap tires, but they Alex has the medium compound. IBN has the hard compound. I think Alex would struggle to get to those mediums in. I think that's Skull or Bull.
That's Skull.
He's in the wall.
On fresh.
And that's a safety car. That is a safety car.
Wow, that's going to throw a wrench into things.
That is going to throw a wrench. So I think the debris on the entry to turn 1 there has caused the safety car.
Yeah, he's still going.
Do we see anyone pit? So OS Degrees has gone by the pit lanes, but he'll have another chance to pit. Joker, does he think about pitting? He's on 14 lap hards. He does pit. He'll presumably go onto a pair of softs, unless he has a pair of mediums left. Joker running in 8th place. A quiet race so far, but no penalties there so far, I believe, which is good. He's going onto a pair of mediums, so that'll be a good tyre to run the rest of the race in. See, a lot of the drivers who started on the mediums here, they're going to be in a very difficult position, because if you go onto softs, you're going to have to pit again. You're going to have to rely on another safety car.
Yeah. Yeah, if you
go onto mediums,
I don't know if softs can make it.
You get to the end.
Yeah, I think medium has to be the move right now. I can't see softs lasting longer than 15 laps before they drop off, especially around
Skull's
Mexico.
Going onto a used pair of hards. He's only doing 4 laps on them.
That's fine. That could work very well as long as they get up to temperature quickly.
Kev's going on to a pair of mediums that he's done 1 lap on, so they'll certainly get to the end.
Yep, those will be good.
Will we see Struggs pit? Struggs doesn't pit. We should see Fade pit.
Bold move. I hope Fade pits, that would be insane.
Yeah, Fade pitting for pair of softs would.
Is he pitting? Yes, he is. All right, that's going to be.
Fade's pitting. So will he go softs or medium? Fence doesn't pit. He stays out on the pair of hards. He's not happy to gamble his position.
I hope he goes mediums, but it looks like yes, he is. He is going mediums.
Yes, so he's going medium. So that's
this is going to be one to watch.
Is OS Degrees going to pit? No, OS Degrees doesn't pit. He decides to take the position, and I think he's just lifted to stay on within Delta there. So Fade drifts into 7th position, but he is on the best set of tyres on the grid.
Yeah, the best set of tyres, and he's very, very quick.
Yeah, so this will be a very, very interesting final 20 laps for Fade, presuming he can make some clean passes. That battle, the race isn't over, is it? And I think the pace difference on those mediums is quite substantial to the hards.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Especially around Mexico, where the tire compound makes a very, very big difference in pace just around here, because the grip is just absolutely necessary to get a good lap time in.
So, does anyone else pit? I think that's it, isn't it? I think
that's it. Looks like Kevin's going past the pits, and the last person to pit would be Skull, who just pit because he got wing damage.
Yeah, so Kevin's pit, Joker's pit. I don't think Rugriff pit. I think he stayed out on the pair of mediums.
Very bold choice by the top 6 to not pit.
Yeah, I think
we'll see how that works out for them.
I think with Struggs, you can hope that Fade will struggle to come through the pack. Right? You got OS Degrees, he's got Chonk. Those are 2 very feisty racers straight away. So OS Degrees maybe a bit more measured than Chonk, but Chonk will fight tooth and nail to keep that position. We saw him keep the lead of the race for a number of laps in certainly a slower kind of pace car. So he'll fight very hard to keep Fade behind. But 1 lap old mediums versus 20 old lap hards. You expect Fade to cruise by.
It's going to be a fantastic battle to watch. And if you'll excuse me 1 second, I need to step away from the booth for just like a minute.
That's okay, no problem. That's no problem.
All right, I'll be right back.
So safety car is not going to be in this lap. We have it could be in next lap, more likely the lap after. Everyone is still on the lead lap. Kev has another drive-through. That is 2 drive-throughs he's had this time. Struggling to match the Delta. So Strug saying, here we go, the chase is on. It absolutely is. Split strategy from you two. It'll be interesting to see if Fade can catch you and if he can overtake, and then if he can pull the gap. 6 seconds of penalties compared to none from Strugs. Fence in second place, had a very quiet race. A very nice race though, no penalties. And he's up into second position. So he finished his first race last week out. And can he get second position? He could even challenge for the lead of the race, of course. From the safety car restart. I think, looking at the safety car positioning, I think we're going to have at least one more lap here of the safety car. Not a very long racetrack here. Only 4.3 kilometers, 2.6 miles in proper speak, I would say. And it's hard to call whether Strugs can hold off Fence. I would put my money on Fade having a lot better pace here, but Strugs seems to have had the measure on Fade throughout the weekend. Joker also on a fresh pair of mediums. He's going to be catching the back of this group soon, and Kev and Skull will probably gap it this lap.
All right, what did I miss?
So, nothing. Safety car is still out. So
safety car is still out. Wow, really?
BRB. Yeah, Skull and Kev and Joker are quite far behind. Joker should catch by the end of second one. I think he'll be back in this lap.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. It looks pretty bunched up. I thought it was actually going to be in the previous lap, but I see no reason why it shouldn't come in this lap.
Chat in the Discord is So past Discord, Geordie actually passed the safety car, and that's ended his race. So weird F1 shenanigans. People complaining about being screwed over by the game. Mm-hmm. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult when you're racing in this game at the moment, because it's not as stable as F1 2021. Let's just say that.
That's one thing I liked about 2021. Like, you knew the rules. Once you got used to it, like, you knew exactly what you could do and get away with. But this, it seems like there's a lot of bugs, and
there's
you never
a
really
lot
know
of
what's
safety
going to
car
happen.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
A lot of safety car shenanigans. IBN is up to 21 seconds worth of penalties.
Wow,
safety
once you get to 30, you get disqualified, don't you?
30, I think 39 is the limit. Or
okay.
Something like that. I think Kev
so you still got time. Yeah, I remember that.
I think a practice race around Kota, and he had 39, 42 seconds worth of penalties.
Kota will do that to you. But looks like the safety car is definitely in.
Yep, so Strug's slowing down the pack, incredibly slowing it down.
Yeah, wow, I would just like to say that Alpha Tauri is second and third. Fantastic for them.
Yeah. So
wow, it's really slow.
Really slow. A bit too
Skull
slow.
literally just stopped.
But only one restart. So he absolutely pulled a massive gap there. That's 1.3 seconds.
Wow.
Strug's weaving on the straight to warm up his tyres, and Fence following. Is there any overtakes here? I've got the gap to leader. Let's switch that to interval so we can see where the battles are developing. Chonk 4 tenths behind Alex Trent G, trying to go around the outside of turn 2, turns into the inside of turn 3. Doesn't quite get the drive through there. That leaves him vulnerable to OS degrees. Will he go for an overtake? It looks like Chonk has a measure of him here then. Fade, obviously just behind this battle on those pair of medium tyres. He'll be wanting to make
Fade is
very
nipping
quickly
at their heels. He knows he's waiting for an opportunity. He's just sitting there. Keeping it smart, keeping it clean.
He doesn't need to make up all the positions straight away, but he just needs to go forward at a certain rate.
No, he's going to have insane pace compared to them for the S's especially.
Also want to save as much juice in the EOS as much. Oh, very wide through that part of the S's, but looks like he's going to close down on OS here. Does he think about a move?
Go for it.
Turn 12.
Oh, very close. No.
Not quite close enough. Louis Vest has left the session, so he's already out of the race. So no biggie there. Up the inside into the stadium section. That is opportunistic. I think OS left the door open there.
That's a bold place to make an overtake.
So next up is Chonk, who they battled with a lot last weekend. These two, all really good battles. Can Fade close this gap? Fade obviously looking to win the race on these better tyres. Can he make it up to the leader, and can he pass the leader? Well, he's got to get past 4 other cars first. And no DRS this time around. They'll have DRS enabled next lap, and then they'll have DRS the lap after, or was DRS enabled this lap? I can't remember.
It might be the next lap, I think.
Right, okay.
Because I don't see anything opening this lap.
Fade goes up the inside of Chonk at turn 4.
Wow. He knows he has pace, and he's using it to his advantage.
Yeah. And he's not rushing it as well. He's not rushing it through corners where you don't expect a quick move, except from that one at Stadium. I think that just presented itself to him. Mm-hmm. So he's nicely picking his way through the track. This is very characteristic of Fade so far this season. He's made mistakes and had to pick his way through this pack, and he is quite
close up
when
through those S's. Look, he's already ahead of Alex into the braking zone.
So he's in 4th position now. Next car is IBN, the AlphaTauri of IBN. He'll try to battle him off for as long as possible, do a Esteban Ocon fight like a lion job for his teammate Fence in 2nd position, but it's starting to look like the writing's on the door for Fade here, for Struggs and Fence in the lead. As he's closing down, DRS has been enabled.
No
DRS
this lap. I guess it'll be next one.
So
wow, look how much
Fade
he closes. He just
a lot of ERS.
trained all of his ERS. He had 70% at one point, but look how close he is.
Yep.
Look how much time he's gained.
He's really opening up that corner. Just so much better drive.
Look at him.
Turn 3. And the jump
drives right around him.
DRS. Just mobile chicane. And he's got by IBN there. So 2 seconds to close on to the AlphaTauri teammate of IBN, Fence. He's had a remarkable race so far. And it'll be hard work for him to keep him behind. But Fence has played it really smart. He's got a full charge of ERS, effectively. At this point, so that will make overtaking certainly difficult for Fade, who only has 13 seconds of EOS. Struggs trying to pull a gap at the front. He's got 3.5 seconds on his teammate. But those poor tyres, we'll see if that gap comes down slowly. You'd expect it to.
Yeah, I think Fade has just set a purple sector 2 actually, so he's flying.
So expect to be a fastest lap without DRS. Without EOS,
that would be something.
Lap? No, it's
he just
about
he sets purple
away
sector
from
3
fastest
too.
lap pace.
Jeez.
So I think that first sector cost him being caught back behind Alex. You expect him to have the fastest lap in the next few laps as he gets DRS from Fence in front. I think next time round you expect him to be in the DRS window and be able to deploy that.
He's already caught up a second in half a lap to Fence.
The gap is 3 seconds to his teammate ahead, so he's gained a half a tenth on his teammate in front too. It'll be very hard for Fence to defend this. But Fence does have the benefit of keeping his EOS fully charged. How many laps can Fence keep Fade behind?
I don't know. It's going to be rough for him. 0.7 of a second down now into the S's where he's only going to gain time.
So you should get a burst
just look at that gap come down.
Out of 11 into 12. This should get him closer. This should put him right on the exhaust pipes of the AlphaTauri, the Williams car off Fade with his blue helmet.
Oh, so much. Wow, almost into the back of him.
I think that was just a slightest tap, but he have DRS here, and this is where Fence can use a full battery of EOS to defend. But is that
going to be enough? Battery?
He has a full battery.
Wow, look at that.
He had 100%.
He's just not
He's absolutely been keeping it. But DRS...
I still don't think it's going to be enough.
Fade go around the outside? I think Fence just lets him go. I think Fence realises...
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I'm not battling you. And there's no way to keep you behind. So
yeah, and Fade is still 2 seconds behind Struggs. I mean, he's made up a second already. It's only been 2 laps.
I think that's smart play from Fence. I wonder if Fence can stay in the DRS of Fade and use it to get closer to Chonk and put his teammate under pressure.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do, though. To just give up with position, even though you're not racing that person. That's tough to do.
I think I said off Chonk, but of course I mean Struggs, who's in first place. So he's already lost that gap. He's not using the DRS as well.
1.5 seconds. The gap has been slashed in half.
I think Fence just realises I'll just keep my AOS for if someone comes back and attacks him. He knows there's fast cars behind him, so they could catch up with him. So smart defensive move for Fence. I think he'd be very happy with the third place position.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe thinks that Fade, having a 6-second penalty, he'd be able to catch him anyway. But I think Fade is going to march off into the distance here. Let's see. Oh, very. Right, okay, I thought he was undertaking his car, but I think he was trying to get closer to the line to have that fastest lap. So now he is clipping at the end of the straight. He's used every bit of ERS that he had, and it wasn't much to get there. And it's so hard to recharge in this game. "17 laps left to
so close,
overtake
just
Scruggs.
over a second between them. I mean, he's catching up at an alarming rate. That's the only way they could describe it.
You expect him to have DOS out of the S's. Scruggs on 51% charge of EOS, but it didn't help Fence at all. Fence has actually got good pace here relative to Scruggs in front. Not losing too much time.
No, absolutely. I mean, Scruggs is on 23-lap old hard, and Fade is on 8-lap old medium, so there's a huge difference between their tires. And plus, they're both extremely good drivers. And
Rugriff battling through the S's. And I think Skull the Bull has just nipped a place off Rugriff even, as he has a bit of contact between those cars. But we'll go back to the battle at the front, as Fade, for the first time, has DOS on this long straight, on his teammate, Scruggs. And he just needs to be a bit conservative with his EOS. He's using his EOS up, but it's 8/10 of Scruggs has used a bit of EOS, so I think he just needs to sit behind and let Scruggs drain his battery a little bit. But
I think that's the play. He does have plenty of time. I mean, we're only at 55. We still got 16 left. That's
so much more confidence through those first 3 corners, and he will close down the gap as well. But Scruggs using a bit of EOS there, but he's used up 15% of his EOS just on that straight, and he won't be able to recharge 15% of EOS in a single lap, such as the difficulty to recharge in EOS in F1 2022. So just slowly whittle down the gap until he's in prime position to snipe it, I feel. In the Mr. Pack, Alex and OS and Skull are all very close by. They're going through the S's. I don't think they're as close by as they were last time. There was some overtaking through the S's, which is not an optimal zone. But Fade is now only 3 temps behind. 4 temps even. As we go through the stadium section.
Massive moment from Alex in the back. OS has got him. I don't think Skull has got him, but he's almost crashed right on the exit of turn 11 in the S's.
So Miss Brogbagger has crashed.
No!
And there's a full safety. There's a safety car. There is a safety car. So now you can pit for softs, right? And Scruggs has the pit for softs. So
he has.
Does Scruggs pit for softs, or does he stay out and think I can manage the gap?
I think he's got a pit for softs at this point. He can't. There's no way he would. But the only reason he wouldn't is to maintain his lead. But his lead is being whittled away every lap. So it's a difficult decision for him. You want to?
I guess we'll see. But would Fade pit for softs if Scruggs didn't?
I would. If I was Fade, I would absolutely. I'd stay in first. Because he has very good pace on those mediums, and those mediums are not going to die off until the end of the race. So I think he'll be totally fine staying out. But the thing is, for Scruggs, I think his best option is either to pit, but then you have to ask yourself, can you make up those places back in the last 10 laps or so?
Yeah. I'd be very interested to see if Scruggs pits here. I think pitting is the right choice. But
I think it is too.
It does put you in the chasing position. Fade will be on a pair of mediums that will be quite good. It doesn't mean the cars behind are going to pit for softs, right? You'd expect a few to pit for softs.
Yeah, you'd expect to see a few stragglers to pit for softs. It wouldn't be surprising at all. I think there's someone pit for softs already. No, I think Kevin might have. Yes.
So Scruggs goes by, and Fade goes by. So Scruggs doesn't pit for softs. Does anyone else feel like pitting for softs? Is OS Degrees looking at a pair of softs? You wonder. He stays out as well, so does Skullable. They decide a pair of hard tyres.
No one looking to pit.
Does anyone miss a pair of softs? Is Joker thinking about it? No, Joker doesn't think about the pair of softs.
Yeah, only the people in the back have been looking at the softs.
Shonk has pitted for a pair of softs. right?
Yeah, Chunk, Alex, Rugriff, and Kevin is also on right now.
Right, okay.
New soft, so they might be someone people to look out to. Chunk especially.
Very aggressive moves from Chonk, but Struggs, knowing he has I think it's hard because Struggs has a tire, a 6-second advantage over Fade, right?
Yes.
So if Struggs can keep Fade behind for 5 laps, is Fade really going to make 6 seconds in another 5 laps? Saying
That's
this,
the
I think this
question.
will go in 58. I reckon we've got maybe 13 or 12 racing laps left.
Right, yeah. I honestly don't know. I think it's anyone's game, really. We're gonna have to look out for Chunk, especially in the back. Those 4 people on new softs. I feel like Chunk has the best opportunity to gain some places on the restart because he's gonna be on fresh softs compared to everyone else. I mean, there's old mediums in front of him and old hards. So, but I think he'll be one to look at. And the front 2, we'll just have to see what happens. It's a bold choice by Struggs, but we'll see how it worked out for him.
OS and Skull, they are up into 4th and 5th through all the battling, and they're on not too older power hards either of them, right? Let's have a look at the tyre life. Oh, so OS Degrees are old, but Scullables are 16 laps old, so he has a bit of better tyre life than the people in front. Joker, he's on a 13 lap old. I can't believe it's been 13 laps since the last safety car. That seems insane.
Yeah.
But
they do go
even
very
12
quickly.
lap old. But yeah, you'd expect the safety car to maybe come in this lap. It's a close one whether Kev will catch up.
Depends on if
no.
Depends on if the 2 behind can catch up. I think it'll start sadly without Kevin.
Yes. You'd think so, right? But I don't know. Kev may be able to catch up here.
Yeah, no, it depends. The safety car usually, I think it looks at if like the majority of players are bunched up, and then it depends on if there's an outlier in the back. I think they kind of just ignore them.
So Fence and Struggs and Joker are the only ones without penalties that could come into play with this late safety car.
Absolutely.
I think people like IBN will be going very far backwards.
Right, absolutely. I think I imagine the safety car will be in this lap. I can't really see why it wouldn't be. Unfortunately for Kevin.
I think it could be a late restart. I think it could come in this lap, but it will only say it as they're going through the stadium section.
Okay.
So he should catch up. So we haven't had the message yet, but I think Kev will just catch up and it will just dart in, similar to what we had with Fade on lap 12. Unless
no, it might stay out.
It's right here that he needs to collect. So it might stay out. Yeah, it's staying out.
Yeah, looks like it's staying out. Wow. All right. I didn't see that coming.
Just catches too late. I feel like it waits for everyone in this game much more than it used to in the previous games, which is a shame because you're waiting a long time sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in 21, if you were far enough behind, it would just go without you.
Alex is pitting. He's pitting for a pair of softs. I think he's just decided he wants the absolute freshest rubber because he has changed his wing.
He was on fresh softs, wasn't he?
I think he's decided he wants the best rubber he can get, and he knows he'll
I guess if the safety car's staying out for another lap, he can catch up.
It may make it stay out for a whole another lap, though.
I mean,
let's hope not, right?
It better not. It might. We'll see.
We're losing lap time here. We're losing lap time that Fade can pull on Struggs. So we are losing a battle lap by lap, and Fade knows that. He'd be anxious to get this going. Struggs wouldn't mind a safety car for the next 7 laps, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, he's on those hards. Those hards will last another 15 laps or so, but it starts to drop off. So I think he's in a relatively good position as long as the safety car keeps going.
I think it will come in this lap because Alex is very close behind that pack now.
Yeah,
so either way, it'll come in.
I'm going to watch Fade, I think, for this restart. I want to see how he does.
Yeah. So Struggs slowed it down incredibly a lot last time, man. Almost too much. He was moving, but it was incredibly slow.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Skull in the back, the Constantine effect actually... it was so much that Skulls actually stopped in the stadium section.
Oh, really? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe we'll see how he does this time.
Yeah. So he's 50 kilometers an hour. He's just backing it up, and is he gone for it? He's
I think he's
speeds
going
up
for
a
it, yeah.
little bit.
Oh, no, he hasn't. Yeah, that's a
And
good
he's
idea.
going for it now. He's going for it now.
That's what I would have done,
so,
too. Wow, fade bad on the restart. Fence is right up on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Fence could be creeping up on Fade here. That would certainly cost Fade some time, but will Fade go brave on the brakes into turn 1?
He does.
Try and hand it around the outside. That becomes the inside for turn 2. And he does keep that. That's very important. Very important.
The difference in grip there, you could just see it.
Chonk has IBN in the backfield, so he's gone up to 7th. Rugriff also passed. They are on soft tyres, better tyres. IBN going backwards on a pair for mediums, 31 lap old mediums. I have no idea why IBN did not pit, but I guess he realizes he has so many penalties anyway.
I'm surprised those haven't almost blown up yet. Those mediums. I don't know how long they last.
There'll be more. But Alex Trent G has pitted again, I believe, for another pair of softs. I have no idea why he's so far behind, but 5 tenths behind. Chonk's made up a place on Joker now, so he's up into 6th position.
Wow, Chonk's doing good. Yeah, I said he'd be one to look at, and he's especially proving that correct.
Chonk could end up on the podium here. There's certainly a podium place up for grabs. Struggs will try to keep Fade behind for as long as possible. 6 seconds worth of penalties difference between the two front-running Williams. Fade will be desperate for a race win to kind of revitalise his championship charge. He's only 20 points behind Struggs at the moment. So
yeah,
a race win would put him...
if he wins the race, that could put him what? I think it's still year commentating, but that's 14 points behind now? Or 15, sorry.
Yeah, 12
14.
or 13 or something like that. And,
yeah. He'd be a lot closer.
I'm not too sure, but yeah, a lot closer. But obviously, if Struggs wins, it goes out to over a race wins distance.
Yeah.
So he'll just bide his time. I think he's using up quite a lot of VOS actually, Fade, as IBN is falling further back in the backfield. Chonk is now 8 tenths behind Skull.
Wow,
so
he's
5 laps
catching up
old
fast.
soft.
He's
He just has so much pace difference compared to those hard runners. They've just kind of got to accept their fate and let them go by, I reckon, and try and preserve themselves as much as possible. And sector 2, there's a spinner. There's a collision between Kev and
Kevin IBN, I think. Maybe it's Rugriff. Maybe.
It's Rugriff. Yeah. So Fade right on the back of Struggs here. He won't have DOS this lap, but he may have an opportunity to take him into turn 1 if he can line up the straight
so close to him.
This is as close as he's been so far.
He's right on his gearbox. Look at him. Look at the two. They're so close together. 4 tenths of a second.
Will he have the pace here? If he gets by, will he have the pace to pull a gap? DOS is enabled this lap, so next time round they'll have DOS.
Oh, just not close enough.
I think DOS will help him get by, but does he he'll have to pull a second a lap. I think he'll have to pull a second a lap on his teammate, and I don't know if the pace is quite there. Those mediums are starting to get a bit old now, past their best. Ooh, very deep from Fade, and he has to kind of take a versus methods and avoid the back of Struggs there. That could have been catastrophic if those two hit each other off at this late stage.
That would have been a fun one to review in the stewards.
Yeah, I think it would have caused some serious problems.
That would have been fun.
A bit further back, but should have DOS this time out. So he gets DOS out of turn 11. The blaster turn 12. This will get him closer. But he won't be quite as close as last time, I believe. But surely this time round, Struggs has a bit more EOS, but still, Fade still has a decent blaster EOS. This is surely Fade's best opportunity to overtake. 5 tenths behind Struggs. And the gap grows slightly on exit. Struggs is just getting a lot better exit out of that final corner. A lot more confidence on those tyres.
Look at that gap come down.
It is screaming down. Will he have a chance to overtake into turn 1?
Oh,
he looks to the inside and he goes for it. He
does go for it. Wow.
And they go side by side, but Struggs keeps it on the inside. Makes it very difficult for him. Can he get DOS into turn 4? If he can pass the gap, I think the gap's grown too much. So another lap goes by. This is becoming harder and harder for Fade to pull that gap. Every lap that goes by, Fence keeps keeps position with Fade as well. So it's not great for the constructors wise because Fade may need to actually get past Strux to pull a gap on fence behind, who currently would take second place off Fade as they stand on the road. Chonk is just 2/10 behind Skulder Bull as they go through the S's. Chonk on a lot better tyres. These softs working a lot better at this stage of the race compared to the hard compound tyre through the S's.
Fade's super close. Oh, but I think Fade just got another penalty though. Or no, was that fence?
I think that was fence and Chonk getting a penalty.
Wow,
so he's close to this time round. And Strux does not have as much ERS to play with to defend. About equal between the two. So this should be his best opportunity to overtake. Can he get the move done into turn one? He almost caught up last time round. It's going to happen. It's going to be done.
He might just drive right around him.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. As we see him slot into turn one, Strux tries to take the slipstream, and he won't have DRS into turn four. So Fade, this is it. Fade has to start pulling a gap, and he has to start pulling a gap about 0.8 a lap. Something like that. We have 7 laps left.
Is it doable? Yes, but is it probable? That's the question, really.
Any mistake from either of them could cost him this race.
Absolutely. He's just got to put his head down and just focus on driving.
Yeah, also, any penalty from either of them would also cost him the race. Chonk is up into 5th position. I think he has 9 seconds worth of penalties, but Skull battling back, a little bit of contact on the exit, and I think Skull has to concede that position to stop the soft runner of Chonk a lot quicker, and Skull Bull picks up a time penalty to boot. Strux has DRS, and that's crucial. Can he keep DRS onto the straight? Every lap that he keeps DRS is
very good gap.
A chance. Skull Bull has spun here, battling with Chonk. He's maintained 6th position, but he does fall backwards. I think Strux is too far behind Fade to get DRS here, so he's pulled about a second of gap here on that lap. If he can do that every lap, then he should be able to do it, but it's going to be a close one. As we have a yellow flag in sector 3, it's Kevin. He's at pit exit. And can he get out of the way correctly? I think he does.
Yellow flag, sector 3. I think that's Kevin. I think he might be retiring. Going very, very slowly.
No. So he span.
He's back up to green flag. But Fade pulling out a fantastic gap on Struggs in second. I mean, that's 1.4 seconds and basically a lap. So he might have the pace to do this if he can just keep it together. He's absolutely flying right now.
Yeah, so he's on 19 lap old mediums compared to 34 lap hards.
Very, very close to OS now. He might even be able to pull something, pull an overtake out the 3rd DRS zone at the end of second 2 at the S's.
Yeah. So, 6 laps left. 1.5 seconds got gained so far. I think he needs another couple of attempts through this stadium section, and I think he's on to building that gap as he needs to. Sector 1 and 2 does a yellow flag. It's Kev again. I think Fade really would not appreciate a safety car at this late moment. Chonk is closing in on 4th position on OS degrees as we enter into turn 1. Does he get the move done? He does get side by side into turn 1. Does he get the job done? Does OS degrees decide to hang him out the outside? I think he's decided best of it. He tries to get the cut back. The old switcheroo, as David Croft would annoyingly say, as he goes into turn 4. I think he's done enough to get by there, and I think Chonk can focus on the cars in front. What are the penalty gaps looking like? So, Chonk has 9 seconds worth of penalties, so as long as OS Degree stays within 3 seconds of Chonk, he won't actually lose that place on the road, but with those soft tyres, they'll start to go off soon. Struggs is maintaining that gap with Fade. Fade is not doing enough as it stands on the road.
Yeah, I mean, last lap he gained, 1.4 seconds and almost a lap, and now this lap he's only 4/10. I don't think it's going to be very close by the end, I think, if he puts up this increase in the gap between them.
I think a penalty for either of them will cost them money, so they've got to keep it in the white lines.
A penalty for Struggs right now would be catastrophic, to say the least. I think he's got to be very, very careful of his track limits.
Fade's had to battle through the grid multiple times in this race. And when you are battling through the grid, you do start to rack up the penalties higher than if you're just in clean air, able to do your own thing, metronomically putting in lap times. So you can understand where the penalties have come from, but they could cost him the race. And Struggs could get his 3rd win of the season, making up good points on his title rivals.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Fade win this race, but it would be a very, very mighty comeback from what happened earlier under the safety car.
Absolutely. I fell all the way to the back of the grid. Worst time to spin is at the start of a safety car. At the end of a safety car.
Yeah, especially
2.4 seconds. 2.4 seconds. So I think he does gain a bit of time through the S's and gains a bit of time through the stadium section. But is it
so
enough?
Close.
We've got 4 laps left at the end of this lap. 68, 69, 70 and 71. So yeah, my maths are right. So 4 laps left in this race. And it's 2.6 seconds. I think Struggs is doing enough at the moment to keep his lead.
I think I think you're right. Chonk up to P4 doing very well for himself.
Oh, Chonk is up to P4.
I know. Very, very good for him. I think I don't know how close he is to... He's still 4 seconds behind.
Too far away from the podium. It's Kevin again. OS Degrees is 3 seconds, within 3 seconds of Chonk though, so he'd lose that position, presumably.
Yeah, actually, he's
high rate of attrition.
Absolutely.
We haven't had anyone out of the race for a while though, but 20 starters, and I think it's one of the first races we've had all 20 start, but only 11 of them left at this point. So the gap's gone up to 3 seconds, just creeping up into 3 seconds. So that's half the job done. He needs to find some incredible pace. Starts to throw caution to the wind. Every lap that goes on, it becomes harder and harder to make that gap. He needs to start playing with the track limits a little bit more to try and create that gap.
Absolutely, he definitely knows that, and that's probably all he can think about right now.
Last weekend, Fade knows all too well about being beaten by the buzzer, and he just fell out of 8-second range of Matusas in front and lost the lead of the race. Now, can Fade pull that gap and do the inverse of what happened to him at Australia last weekend and take his first race win this season? It'd be good points on the board for him. I think he's already got fastest lap, so it'll be good points on the board for him and bring down the gap at the front of the standings down to about 12 or 13 points.
It would certainly make the championship more interesting. Not the constructors, but the drivers.
Yeah, I think the constructors feels a bit sewn up at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
This will be another maximum points from Williams here. Oh, Struggs gets a time penalty. Struggs gets a time penalty.
Oh,
so that is catastrophic for his race. Fade now has the gap to win this race on track. Struggs is going to have to do absolutely everything to claw back under that 3-second window, and the emphasis goes to Fade, right? The Fade has the upper hand here now.
Yeah, I think he does. Wow, that's bad. That's very, very poor for Struggs right now.
I think he's pushing slightly too hard. I think he had the gap within hand.
Yeah.
We have Fade clipping at the end of the straight. So he's going to lose a bit of time at the end of the straight here for sure.
Yeah, I think he knows it now. He's realized it too, that he needs to keep that 3-second gap. But he's doing well down the straight, 3.5. It's been very consistent throughout. It's coming down, but
Struggs,
it's going to be a close one.
He's really pushing hard, isn't he? It's come down a couple of attempts. He's going to try and do it the hard way, Struggs. But it just creeps up so much through here when these really slow corners.
Yeah, especially
low traction.
I see that. Yeah, it went up to 3.7 at one point.
He did get a better drive out of turn 6. And as he goes through the S's, how is he looking? They are very close. At every penalty that comes through race control, it's like, oh, is it Fade? Is it Struggs? He's got the gap down 2 tenths over this lap. So the race is not over. We are on the penultimate lap. We are going on to the final lap next time around. Can Fade do enough to maintain this How many warnings has he got in the back? Does one more warning give him another penalty? We don't know this, but it could be really crucial for this. So it's 3.5 seconds. So I think the gap does maintain over the course of that lap. And Fade clipping at the end of the straight, but they're both running out of ERS. The battles in the mid pack have calmed down. I think Ruger's just behind Joker, but even if he gets him, he gets another 12-second penalty. I don't think he's going any higher than 8th in this race. There's a Sector 3 yellow flag between that battle between Joker and Rugriff.
Might have been contact there.
But the gap is 3.4 seconds. Can Fade do enough? I think he felt a bit robbed last weekend. He led for so long, but Matusa's speed. He didn't leave that long actually, but he did. He was in the mix for so long, and it was kind of pinched from him from underneath his fingers. 3.4 seconds is the gap, and 3.3 seconds. Any little mistake for either driver could cost them. And
3.2 seconds.
Closed
1
down
second.
The gap.
Oh,
is going to feel like it's right there for him. We won't know until they go over the line. Fade, is he starting to crumble just a little? Oh, Strux always has a better drive out of turn 1. We have the stupid fireworks going off, but it goes back up to 3.4 seconds. Has Fade done enough? I think Fade has done enough.
I think he's done it.
We'll see as they go over the line. Strux always has a better drive out of the corner.
He's done it!
He's done it. He has done it. He has absolutely done it. So, well done to Fade. He has
that was
pulled
phenomenal.
off a very difficult race strategy at the end there. And I think helped by Struggs getting that 3-second penalty. But Joker comes over the line soon, and Joker has not had a penalty in this race, so that is absolutely commendable. Mexico, no penalty, bringing home the points in 7th place. By the looks of things, he's got Rugriff just behind, but has a penalty. But Fade from Struggs, so Williams 1-2. But Fade taking the upper hand and bringing the championship down. Joker finishing the race with no penalties. Supreme race for him, very consistent. And Skolder Bull up from 20th position, up to 4th place. I think there's a couple of stewards' inquiries over his head. There's supposed to be an incident with Toll Collector. Fence in 3rd position. Great race from Fence. Really, really consistent.
Absolutely.
Kept out of trouble. Who's Z-Man's driver of the day? Let's say that.
I gotta go. It's a toss-up between Fence and Skull for me. I mean, Skull has been involved with several incidents, but it's important to realize that he literally started very close to last. And then Fence, I think, just had an extremely consistent drive, and kept it clean throughout, which is exactly what you need to do, and take your chances when you need to. So I'm actually gonna go Fence for me.
Excellent. Yeah. Fence. I will go. I'll go with Fade. I think Fade had a lot of work to do, made it hard for himself. But
yeah, I think so.
Starting on the hards, I think he was one of few drivers actually start on the hards and go that long on them. So he created that opportunity for him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic drive from the top 3, really, which is absolutely commendable for fantastic racing. It's about it. Well-deserved 1-2 for Williams.
So I'll just go through all of the incidents and pit stops if I have time to do it. So for the clip, so we can see any warnings that need to be removed or penalties that need to be removed. Sometimes I have time, sometimes I don't. I think I'm always just trying to capture the
wow, this is a lot of incidents.
Yeah, there was a lot.
So many incidents.
A lot of incidents. A lot of those would be cutting them.
You do all of that?
Yeah, well, it's just in case we need to check through.
Right.
So I think that should be good if I clip it from there. So yeah, congratulations to Faye for that race win. Good result for him. He'll be happy with that, and it brings down the points to I think it's with the fastest lap going to Ben. I think that's 13 points will be the gap now, but I'll confirm that obviously in the coming days.
Yeah, I think 13 is right. Well, they were separated about 20 going into this race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be around 13. Might be wrong. But just an absolutely fantastic race.
Yeah. So, any closing thoughts, man?
I don't think so. I'm glad coming back into the booth and seeing you guys racing. It's very, very nice for me, and I'm glad to see that the racing is still respectful and just absolutely competitive as it was when I left it.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
just
We've missed you in the league certainly, but it's been great to have you in the booth today, and hopefully you'll be able to
yeah.
join us again at some point in the future. But yeah, um, I guess we'll call it there. We end it there. So I
All right.
guess
Well,
this
thank you
has
very much
been
for this opportunity. It's been a lot of fun.
it's been our privilege, dude. Absolutely our privilege. So this has been a Syndicate Racing League production. Yeah, thank you very much for watching.